Dana, this is the show, and we got Luke Wilson, our old buddy. Cool hand Luke. That guy's
Cool
a stud,
hand
dude.
Handsome and charming.
Man, he looks all tough. Yeah. I click no boxes. This dude's just a box clicker. And he also golfs. He's really good at golf.
Yeah.
And,
there's no red flags. He's just a box clicker.
He's such a goddamn box clicker. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
He just walks around checking boxes and looking cool, and he sounds Southern.
Great actor.
I think it's real.
Those Wilson brothers, they got their own kind of accent. It's called the Wilson brother accent. It's like just a very cool, it kind of makes you mellow out,
Yeah.
Just chill.
It just mellows me out. Yeah.
Because you know how anxious you get.
Yeah. Mine is called, my accent is more like thirsty and anxious.
Yeah.
People pleasing, gross.
I'm a people pleaser. I got the disease of please. I'm going to become a badass.
I got the disease to please.
Tease to please. Yeah, line me up.
And he's also in Horizon, which you've seen all of, and I've seen some of because I love Costner, and I like it. It's cool, and he's cool, of course.
He is effortlessly makes a great cowboy, and there's an incredible scene in there. So we do talk about working with Costner and that movie, and
also his new movie, You Gotta Believe.
You Gotta Believe, and that's a family picture around a baseball coach who falls ill, and the team, and it's based on a true story. So check that out.
Mr. Greg Kinnear, who I used to see more of, but he's out there.
Greg Kinnear.
I think he's a client of Carvey.
No wonder you don't see him so much.
He doesn't like money. You like money?
No, he's great. He's always great at things. For us, it was kind of fun because, we like to talk about ourselves. As Luke was curious about us. Some guests, like to ask questions. So that was sort of fun talking about ourselves a little bit. He's just a charmer.
About me.
Yeah.
He also
he's the guy
was
you want to hang out with.
Reese Witherspoon. What's that movie? The huge one. Heather, what's it called? It's her first one with she's a lawyer. God, you don't know it.
Blonde.
Legally Blonde. Legally Blonde really stumped the panel. Anyway, and he was in Old School. He's in so many movies.
Old School, Legally Blonde. Yeah, there's just tons of movies.
Love it. All right. Well, enough of us. Here he is, Luke Wilson. Yeah, he looks cool. Shit, put your clothes on, dude.
Damn.
Hey, guys. I want to thank you for appearing on my podcast, Talking with the L Train. I appreciate that. Just want to get a couple of ads out of the way here. Dana, I'm going to have you read one for Miramax Films, and David, yours is going to be for Anthony Pelicano Private Investigations. Okay. I am emailing you guys the text.
God, I love it. You're so efficient. I'm recording for Dana's World. It's a little side pod, just so you know. Doesn't matter.
I'm doing some drone footage of this.
Great to see you guys. Long time, first time, as they say.
Yeah.
You remember ours, though, right? You, me, Nealon, and your brother had dinner at this restaurant.
Yeah, dinner, yeah.
Right, and the next day the economy was shut down. Stay indoors, right, basically.
Yeah. Well, no, I was just thinking about that dinner because I've never been back to that place. And I think
neither.
I think Owen had just done that hiking with Kevin thing, and then that's how we all happen to have dinner. But I was thinking about that. That's the only time I've ever gotten the chance to meet you. So,
well, we just scattered. That was it. We just scattered.
Yeah.
I don't really put numbers I'm getting better at putting numbers in my phone. So I thought of calling or texting you guys. And when your brother got SNL, I think he gave a text to me, but he didn't say his name, and I was like, who is this?
Right.
I didn't really. So, anyway.
That was great when he did SNL. Because I think he was, he had not done it for a long time. And I think he and Lauren are good friends. So it was cool when he got the chance to do that.
Are you the only brothers that have done it, or it must have been other brothers?
No,
both have hosted.
There have to be a few others. Didn't the Gibbs do it? And
the Gibbs.
The Gibbs. Andy Barry did it.
Did Harvey and Bob Weinstein do it at one time?
Maybe the Kelsey brothers at some point will both be on.
Mo Howard's grandson hosted early season, though. I don't know. I think you guys might be the only ones, but all right. I'll always think of you as a 154 half miler, but we can move on to your movie career.
153.
153?
I mean, if we're talking about it, 153.
153 in high school. For casual listeners, this is a national class. This is a guy who's going to go maybe on a scholarship to a college at 153 in high school.
And you're a good runner too. Do you
Not at your level.
You faded out.
427 mile does not translate to 153.
I wish I'd pursued it. I didn't. I kind of I didn't realize how kind of important high school or just sports were to me until I stopped playing them after high school.
Yeah. I guess that's always the thing. We had a team. My high school program was like a college program. It was pretty unbelievable. But anyway, for people who have turned us off at this point, for you track fans, our guest today.
Look at this stud. He looks like the Marlboro Man. We got Horizon. Dana saw you in Horizon. I like a big fat ass Western.
By the way, I loved it, and I loved you in it. You are a IMBD. I don't know who writes this stuff, but it was kind of shit. It was kind of cool. It referred to you as the handsome Texan.
Jesus,
Luke Wilson.
That's what I want to be called.
I want to be called the hand. I can't say that.
My grandmother might have written that a few years ago.
Yeah, no shit.
So just because Horizon's right up on our near Horizon,
right in the screens.
You also have a new movie out. I loved it. I think it's gonna.
That's not even why I'm here, guys. I'm excited to talk to you guys. I mean, I'm really. I hadn't really gotten into listening to podcasts, and then I'd heard about you guys having this one, and it was kind of SNL related. Mm-hmm. And then I'd gotten to. I mean, I've listened to pretty much all of them, and then for me, the funniest thing is like. It's the only time I've ever enjoyed listening to people talking about comedy where I haven't been like, why don't you fucking make me laugh? Instead of telling me how hard comedy is. But no, I love the show. And I mean, the most recent one I listened to was Nick Swardson, which was a really funny one. And then, gosh, I listened to one that was a couple of years old, but you guys got to kidding around about just pilots and making connections and being stuck on planes. And gosh, it was so funny.
Shit, I was going to tell Dana, I had this girl on this plane this last week when I was on the road, and it's all silent in first class or whatever class I was in. And she goes, and I just go, I pop up like a meerkat. I'm like, because no, you can't just get away with that. And then everyone's quiet. And then she goes, again, really deep one. And so, of course, I wake the guy next to me. I'm like, hey, man, like it's a terrorist. I go, we got a situation, dude. Like, what are we doing? Because something's going on. There's germs everywhere. And then I sort of unionize everyone around me. I go, what, like, where's the air marshal? Like, let's bring them back for this. Because then she sneezed. I'm like, oh, get fucked. You're not sneezing and acting like it's nothing. We're all flying together. And the stewardess is up there reading Us magazine. I go, get on this shit. Dive on that grenade.
Yeah. Have the air marshals just kind of quietly faded away? Because, I mean, it was amazing for a while there. You could always see those guys, kind of the kind of like ex officio shirt on or the like fishing shirt on.
Yeah. Just really like doing People magazine crossword, staring at everyone, faking it. Yeah, gunned somebody down.
I flew with a guy who was terrified to fly, worse than me. And then on came the plane right at the end. We were in first class, but it was a pretty big first class, domestic. And anyway, so
everyone's
6
puking
people
in their cars
of Middle Eastern descent came on and sat down, and they all started praying. And this guy is flipping out. And I just said I said, it's so obvious it can't be true. You've never been safer. It's way too obvious because it was,
Yeah,
so
Martin Lawrence had a great bit in like his second stand-up special about like post 9/11. That was the only time he'd really seen blacks and whites working together, was, on a plane kind of monitoring who was coming in on and off.
Who to be racist against together.
Yeah, exactly.
I like when they bring out the beverage cart and the flight attendants stand in front of it with their arms crossed.
Yeah,
oh boy, nothing's getting through that.
You guys mentioned that your life depends on Marjorie and some mini bottles. That's what stands between you and going down.
Dude, I stand up in the back and I just pull out a little curtain to look up in first, and she's got the beverage cart and she's like, just gives her hand like, whoa. Whoa. That's as far as we're going right now. We got a whole thing up here. You know what the bev cart means. And so I was like, oh, you can't even get close. You can't stand up. They think you're making a move.
I know. And on the back of her uniform, it said "Stand your ground." I thought it was a little dark. I mean, do we need to
we're
know?
over Florida right now.
I'm just trying to get to Houston. Okay, 90 minutes. I don't need some kind of action up toward the bulwark part of the atmosphere.
Well,
I lost.
You have got the Dennis Miller down, and he makes it's almost like having him be the third host, because he makes an appearance at every show you guys do through
Lovitz and Dennis make appearances.
God, and I this week I was, for some reason I was like, I'm gonna go back, and couldn't find anything to watch. I was like, I'm gonna start the Larry Sanders Show again.
Oh,
there you guys are, first season. Both of you guys are in that.
Look at that.
Bits. That's incredible.
Oh,
I was in the first show, I think.
Yeah.
One of substituting for Larry.
Yeah, I think that was I think right around 4, but David might have been in the first one. I think he might have beat you in there.
I don't know. Mine was recorded before the show premiered, and then moved. Do you remember Hervé Villachez?
Yeah, saw that one where he had the beard, and then you had the great.
Hervé Villachez was my guest, and because he was just from another country, he didn't know he wasn't on a real talk show. He didn't know he was doing a talk show within a talk show with, so he thought he was in a real
with
talk
a substitute talk show host.
Yeah.
Dana, yours might not have been first, only because would they have the first episode without establishing Larry has his own show and everything? Because if he had a guest host.
Yeah.
I was. I think mine, Luke. Thanks for bringing this up.
Guys, hey, let's just agree that you were both there first season. But I was even thinking about that in terms of getting into the business. Dana got in first, then David got in.
Yeah.
Then I got in.
Yeah. You followed our footsteps.
He is the silverback in the group. We have to.
That's what we say.
You would have loved that, Luke. Did you ever get on Larry Sanders?
No, I didn't. I think by the time I got to town, because I can remember watching it back in Dallas, I think it was already off, but I can remember seeing, Gary Shandling around Santa Monica when I first got into town. Then knew people like Duke Coveney that were friends with him, and Greg Kinnear that knew him. But yeah, he was not, the show had finished by then, but such a funny show.
And the interesting part was that he did that style of shooting, quasi documentary, and then that influenced Ricky Gervais.
Oh yeah,
who made The Office and
a lot of handheld stuff.
And then we got Our Office, but there was no digital, so he had 3 guys with 16 millimeter cameras on their shoulders. So I'm talking to Larry, got one on me, one on Larry, and a 2-shot. And so you could overlap, do whatever you wanted. Yeah. Every take would be its complete organic take. So it was the easiest acting. I don't know if you ever, when digital came in, that was more around. But at the time, it was like, just completely organic, super real. That's why it popped.
But still, so much more difficult to have to do that on film. But interesting that you guys did it. And I was thinking about, you guys, did you guys ever watch, because to me, the funniest show, and I guess it qualifies as a sitcom, is Faulty Towers.
Yes,
with John Cleese, and it only ran for 2 seasons, but that to me is just, unbelievable.
Dana, you saw that? I don't think I saw that.
Have you not seen it, David? You've got to watch that. I mean, the guy. I'm sure it's one of those things that's scripted, but he is so funny with the sides and muttering that it seems unscripted.
That's me. Yeah.
Oh gosh, it's unbelievable. And only went for 2 seasons, so probably only about 20 episodes, if that.
I think 28 or something. It's like kind of like The Honeymooners or something. But John Cleese, I think The Honeymooners was only 28.
Did that only go a couple of seasons?
Yeah, just not that many.
Yeah, they only got 50 million viewers, so they had to cancel it back then.
All right.
But John Cleese and Monty Python,
It's
you know what I
funny.
mean? They're just, and your dad, insert your dad. It's just a fun fact.
This
your
is trivia.
Dad brought Monty Python to America.
Well, my dad was working at a PBS station in Dallas, Channel 13. And
KERA.
KERA. And he somehow wound up as the program director without any experience. But it was really, he had this friend, kind of buddy that he'd hang out that worked there, Ron DeVilliers. But he was the one who had maybe a Monty Python. Did they have a record before they had anything televised? But anyhow, he's the one who had said to my dad, these guys are unbelievable. They're from England. We've got to get them on the show. And then they got the guys to come to Dallas, where they had kind of a wild couple of nights with those guys. But it was at first aired on KERA in Dallas. But it was really my dad's friend, Ron DeVilliers, who got my dad to do it. But
it says here it was your dad, so we're going to go with that.
Okay, good.
And so you sort of got into that kind of comedy. Like when I was a kid, I saw Life of Brian. I was a kid, but I thought, holy shit, it was like rated R. But I thought that was so fucking funny, and it was not like what I'd seen, regular stuff I'd seen.
Yeah, I can remember when that came out. Somehow it was kind of over my head, and I still haven't seen all the Monty Python stuff. And I know, it's one of those
Holy
things
Grail.
where people, I don't think I've seen the whole thing. Where
I didn't get all the stuff because I was too young, and it's also some English humor, but I just remember thinking there were boobs in it. Maybe that was it.
Yeah. It's like,
maybe that's why I liked it.
Benny Hill could keep you keyed into hopefully some females, but somehow that kind of was over my head at the time. But I've since, there are all these kind of documentaries about Monty Python, and I just find those so funny because they're all such Eric Idle and Graham Chapman, and they're all such funny guys. And just all that stuff they all kind of went to the same, the kind of these boys' schools like Eton, and then I think they all went to one of 2 colleges like Oxford, and can't remember what the other one was, but they're all, especially of course John Cleese is just so funny. But they do seem like kind of, that's one thing I wanted to ask you guys about, because one thing I always think about, funny people, and is somehow they have kind of also very sensitive, but also like a quietly kind of rebellious spirit to to where you can get told when you're a kid. And I'm not including myself, I'm talking about guys like you, and I think about people like Mike Judge, where you can get told that's not funny. You need to grow up. You need to get serious and not do that. Where a lot of people say, oh, okay, yeah, that's true. I need to stop imitating this person or walking funny or, that kind of thing, where I think there's a kind of a rebellious spirit in there that I find really interesting that you guys have.
It may be a little bit of a through line of some kind of childhood connection. Not that a childhood would completely create a full form person as a genetic component, but there's a little bit of passive aggressiveness into it. I noticed later that all my characters were cocky and aggressive. Church lady, Hans and Franz, we could take go father. And I thought, and I'm a nice guy, and I have the disease to please.
Right.
But as a comedian, I could just be kind of passive aggressive.
Right. And I mean, also
like a ventriloquist.
I had heard you, Dana, talking, and maybe it was on Howard Stern, just kind of talking about how your dad, how he could be kind of hard on you, like so you and a friend were like trying to fix a car, like a lawnmower in the yard.
A weed killer thing. Yeah.
Have you thought about using your penis?
No, I said, Dad, what tool should I use for this? Me and my best friends in junior college in the garage, just in the morning. What tool should I use? And he was just in a mood. He was just in a moment. He's in the garage. He said, quote, and we never forgot it. Oh, Jesus Christ, use your penis, you shithead.
That's my judge has a great one about his father. Okay. And I think his dad was, like a archaeology professor, but he'd left the house one day. He told Mike to mow the lawn and I think it was Albuquerque, and he got home at the end of the day, and Mike hadn't mowed the lawn. And Mike is one of those people, when he'll imitate someone, he'll kind of contort and turn into the person, but you'll see him turn into his dad, where he's like, I told you to mow the goddamn lawn. But I also think it's something that ties into like musicians. Like I'll think about like Tom Petty. He's one of those guys that had a tough dad, or like, Bruce Springsteen had like a dad that like didn't communicate with them. I mean, so I don't know. I think it's kind of one of those things where you can retreat.
Yeah, it's also, there's a little bit of attention getting when I was no dad around. So, and you'll never believe this, I was a bit of a pipsqueak growing up. And so
that was your nickname.
Small fry, shrimp cocktail.
Yeah, I had a few of those.
Yeah. Fruit cake, fruit cup, fruity. Any derivative.
Any derivative of fruit.
Yeah. Now back then, fruit sort of had a negative connotation. I can't.
Well, you guys revenge.
Time.
Yeah, it was a different time.
Hey, folks.
Fruit cocktail, fruit cup.
That was
tutti fruity.
Fruity shorts, fruit pants.
Yeah, fruity pebbles.
Fruit lover.
So I was sort of like whispering jokes around, almost just to survival mode in school, and not confident enough to think the joke should be at full volume. So I would just say it, and if anyone laughed, I'd be like, "Oh, that was a joke." And if they don't laugh, you go, "I wasn't." I'm just
that was just a muttering.
Yeah, it was a mutter, and so that sort of got me through. But there is something to all that stuff.
I really think there is. And did you guys ever, like, I always think like the friends you had back then, like I always think like with, really funny people like you guys, you had to have been around other really funny kids, but where you guys would have, kept moving in the direction of, where you wound up, where they kind of would have done the thing that I was talking about, where they would have grown up, gotten serious.
The hard part, Luke, is right after college, because that's the big split where you go, I go to college or I do this stupid fucking shenanigans that make no money. And look at my balloons. What just happened?
Yeah. This happens on our.
I know.
How did I cue that?
I heard you guys talking about.
This is it. You see it, Luke. We just had balloons pop up.
It's such a great way to like make
I don't know how it works.
It's so much funniher. We got to show it on video.
I found it kind of moving. You were talking about.
It was. I was giving a speech.
It was emotional.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, who cares?
No, but really, it's true. Like,
it's true.
I remember being surprised when a couple of my best friends like saying like, "You want to be a stockbroker?" You never told me that. I didn't know that. And they said, "Well, what do you want to know?" I said, "I don't know. I have no idea what I want to do."
Was your dad tough? I mean, you have 3 kids in acting. I mean, who lets that happen? Who's watching?
My dad
store?
I know he was a very nice, kind of funny guy. And I mean, I'll think back and I'll talk about it with my brothers, just thinking like, gosh, must have been under quite a strain to have like, 3 kids and,
Sure, boys.
school, keeping us in school. And then he had, by that time, by, the late 70s, he'd started like a little kind of advertising company, just him and, like 4 or 5 people. But yeah, my dad was great. And, I never had a crossword with him really. But in terms, I don't, they hope for and they certainly didn't say like, don't try to get into movies or don't try and make a movie. But they, would have been kind of, I'm sure now looking back, they were kind of quietly concerned, but definitely, had the feeling where we were from in Dallas, you could see people just kind of looking at us like kind of these guys that had lost their way and now had settled on the pipe dream of wanting to get a film made.
What was the first thing? Was Bottle Rocket? Is that thing together just as... Who would know how to make something that good that fast? That's so rare.
Well, I think it was just Owen and Wes Anderson trying to write something.
Was he a buddy?
Yeah, Owen had met Wes in an English class at the University of Texas in Austin. Wes was from Houston. They didn't know each other, and they were both, both wrote. And then Wes, I think even back then, wanted to, direct stuff. So then he and Owen did kind of a 1-act play with Owen in it and Wes directing. And then they'd written a whole script of Bottle Rocket. And it was kind of around the time of like Sex Lies and Videotape and the Brothers McMullen, where these kind of cheaper films were getting made. And we thought, okay, well, maybe we can do one of those. And they'd written a whole script, and then we, learned that, well, even to do it cheaply would cost, $400,000 or something. Shit. So met this guy in Dallas who had said, you should, from the script, make a short film. And then there's this thing called the Sundance Film Festival in Utah where they have a shorts program. And this was, the early days of Sundance. And then that's how that all.
So that people already saw a 13-minute version. That didn't go wide though, right? That's just investors or something.
Yeah, it just went in. It went to Sundance. Nothing happened with it there. And then a woman named Barbara Boyle, a producer, she saw it and liked it, and she got it to a producer friend of hers, this woman Polly Platt, who's kind of an interesting woman, like kind of behind the scenes. She'd been married to Peter Bogdanovich, and she was instrumental in getting the Last Picture Show and Paper Moon made. Oh, shit. But then they got divorced, and then she kind of became the right-hand person of James L. Brooks. And she's the one who got him to make Terms of Endearment, because that was also a Larry McMurtry book, like The Last Picture Show. And, they went on to make Broadcast News. And then she saw the short, liked it, read the script, got it to James L. Brooks. And then we started this kind of long process of trying to get it made, just because at the time he was making this movie, I'll Do Anything, which at the time was kind of famously, it was going to be a musical with,
I remember that.
Music by Prince and choreography by Twyla Tharp. And, Nick Nolte was in it, and they did all this stuff. Hey. It was a musical, and they decided to set your Nolte.
Yeah, Jesus. That's like North Dallas 48 hours. Yeah.
Oh, gosh. I mean, 48 hours to me is, I was just watching a lot of that last week. But anyhow, that's how it got started. And, that's how it started.
Holy shit. And James L. Brooks is huge. Yeah.
You're like 22 when Bottle Rocket
I think around,
out?
I think around 22 or so. And I think it was about 94 we made the short. And then I know the movie came out in 96.
When you went back to the town, I mean, I think you were in Occidental. When you went back to the hometown, it was different, right? I mean, people were like, what the fuck? You guys are movie stars. I mean, it must have been
were you a movie star then? What did it feel like?
Well, I mean, you got in a big movie.
When we were making, there's still, I mean, Dallas is kind of
pretty big town.
Yeah, it's a big town, and also kind of a money driven town by, like very traditional, businesses and oil and gas. So we weren't kind of welcome back as heroes. We were still the guys that, if anything, it was there more kind of, what are you guys doing? They're doing what? Oh yeah, hey, my buddy saw. It looks like you guys were filming a movie over there by the
motion picture,
by kind of near downtown. Hey, you guys, it's never kind of like, hey, great job or congratulations.
Right, they kind of shit on.
We always laugh about that after we'd made Bottle Rocket, and some producers saying to us like, I hope you guys are ready for your lives to change. And we were like, oh yeah, we are so ready. And then like, kidding around. Okay, 30 years later, still nothing has changed.
They told me I auditioned for American Idol.
Nothing changed when Bottle Rocket came out, where like, came and went in 2 weeks.
But you're looked at a little differently. Like when I'm from Arizona, just the fact that I moved to LA, I was a star. I did nothing. I'm just there like, wait, you were in LA, you've been to LA, and you moved there? Because everyone's like, I might move to LA, and no one did. And I did, and they were like, what the fuck? And meanwhile, I'm scraping and scratching and doing nothing. But I got an audition was like front page news. They couldn't fucking believe it. So.
Yeah, and even with Arizona being closer, you'd think it would be less impressive. Right. I mean, you're 6 hours away.
They were flipping out. They couldn't believe when I got my first call back, it took about a year, honestly. But you take a while, and then you get something, and then that's big news. But this little wispy nothings are a big deal, because in my head they were a big deal to get an audition, to get a 6-minute spot at midnight and bomb at the Improv was exciting. So it's all the same, and then you inch your way up to fame. My fame never came quickly. Was yours quicker? Because Bottle Rocket, and then what was the one that people really kind of turned their head? Did it take a while? Was it Old School, Legally Blonde?
Yeah,
those ones are big fucking monsters.
That was maybe the first big hit where, people you wouldn't expect to recognize you, little kids and moms.
Goes wide.
Yeah. And then, I guess definitely then Old School, where it really connected with guys and, guys that were my age at the time. And then, I don't hold it in the same level as Animal House, but it was that kind of movie.
Yeah. It was big.
So you get teenage boys, and then guys our age that loved it. But yeah, I guess with those kind of started.
Well, you, Vince, and Will both all kicking on all 4 gears. It was great. I mean, and a script, and it was Todd Phillips too.
Yeah, Todd Phillips. So yeah, that was incredible being around Will. That might have been like the first SNL. And then I was thinking about it since, like, I've worked with so many of you guys, and like Kristen Wiig, but so many SNL people. And to me, that's been, besides getting to work with guys like Nolte or Gene Hackman and James Caan, that was always kind of like the most exciting thing to me. Like, okay, I'm getting to work with, the guys that my dad loved, and the guys that, were so cool. But then getting to work with SNL people, which I've gotten to work with so many and still do. But that's always been kind of the high point, is those older, male actors, and then you SNL people. And I know, Dana,
which one are we?
You guys are
older male SNL actors now.
You guys are the SNL actors and the old studs.
Yeah, there you go.
How was Gene Hackman? Because I don't know if this is true, but I think it was The Quick and the Dead. It was a Sharon Stone sort of produced comedy. It had Leonardo DiCaprio in the 90s.
Is it a comedy?
No, it was a Western.
Right.
And the director's out there and the crew and everyone, and Gene Hackman, and he's going, okay, so Gene, you'll walk down here, you'll pivot here. He's going like this. And Gene Hackman just said in front of everybody, okay, first of all, I'm not going to do any of that shit. and don't you ever give me a fucking direction again.
Oh my God.
I did see Gene get
testy
a little,
but I love a guy with that kind of control
a little
and
hot
power
under the collar. But I think with him, like, number one, like, he's one of those guys that you always think of as being like age 50. But even when I worked with him on the Royal Tenenbaums, he was 72. But
he looked 50 at 30.
Yeah,
and then he
stayed 50.
Always
Hoosiers.
But he was a Marine, and then a real actor's actor in the best kind of way. But like a New York guy, he'd been like I think roommates with like Dustin Hoffman and Robert Duvall. But I think he'd really put his time in and really did take it seriously. But he got a little heated a couple of times, and then I think he kind of settled into the movie we worked on together, The Tenenbaums. But I do remember one time, just kind of sitting there, and I could feel Gene kind of just staring at me. I kind of looking over out my face, and like, oh man, I'm like, hey Gene, he's like, you remind me a lot of my son.
Oh,
and I was like, how do you guys get along? But he was great. I do remember when I worked with, I always ask people that worked with him, like, how was it when you worked with Gene Hackman? And I asked Nick, I loved it. And I asked Nick Nolte, because they'd worked on this movie Under Fire, and Nick was like, "Oh, Gene and I got along great." But he told a really incredible story about Gene losing his temper at the end of the movie. There was some shootout, and I think the director's name was Costa Gravas, some kind of European director. Yeah. But he was saying, in the finale, in the middle of the street, that's when they killed the pig in the middle of the street. An actual pig, and Gene said, "No, I'm not going to do the scene. If you're going to slaughter a pig in the scene, I'm not going to do it."
Oh, really? Kill one in the scene?
And he said, "Gene, no, this is part of the movie. It shows that everything dies at the end. It's a slaughter, whether it's a pig or human." And Gene was like, "I'm not going to do it. You can film it in a way that you don't need to slaughter the pig in the scene." And he said, "Okay, Gene." Then they do the scene, and this guy slaughtered the pig, and Gene went ballistic on the South American location. And Gene, screamed at Nick. He was like, "Nick, did you know about this?" And Nick was like, "No, Gene, I didn't." And then he went up to the director. He said, "You told me you weren't going to do that. You agreed to that." And the director said, "No, Gene, I did not know. I told these stupid guys not to do that." Gene was like, "You're telling me that you told them not to do it?" And he said, "Yes. But Gene, you should have seen the reaction. It was wonderful." and then Gene flew off the handle.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Did he get physical or just verbal?
I think just verbal. And he is a big guy, but I think that, but I think he's also one of those guys that, like, somehow, that what we love about him comes from that same kind of anger. The way he kind of, the way he kind of chuckles and smiles.
He chuckles through scenes. It's run there, he was my favorite guy. There was 10, 15 years, people go, "Who's your favorite actor?" He was definitely one of three. I would just go,
for
Gene
sure.
Hackman, when he's always kind of laughing and shaking peanuts in his hand.
But he's got
and like Mississippi Burning, where he's like, he got a stupid smile.
Yeah.
He always kills it all the way back. He's
like, the top three where, if he's in it, it's going to be watched.
I'll go. Oh,
Costner, going full circle, said that Gene Hackman was the best actor he'd ever worked with.
Yeah.
What did they do?
That was when he played the Russian
No Way Out.
Yeah. Was it No Way Out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I talked to Costner about it too. And he thought he was the best. And then he had a thing where they played a scene in Gene's office a certain way. And each time they were both sitting, and this was like the third scene where they're in Gene's office, and Kevin said to the director, "I think that I should be standing, during the scene." He's like, "No, it just doesn't work if you're not sitting." And while Kevin and the director are going back and forth, Kevin said that, Hackman's just kind of sitting there watching it. And then the director said, "Okay, well, what's Gene supposed to do? If you're standing up, over him in his office?" and Costner said to him, like, Gene will figure it out. And still, Hackman didn't say anything. They did the scene. And then that day, in the studio parking lot, Hackman called Costner over to his car and he's like, oh boy. But then Gene said, you reminded me a lot of myself, when I was kind of younger a few years ago, and just you really care about what you're doing. And, I think it's great. But yeah, it was just kind of, yeah, no, I think he's a cool guy.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
That guy, that's the kind that you don't like that he's not in as much, You're like, I want always to be the same age, just always be in movies.
I know.
How often have you been in a film? Like when you tell about the pig killing thing with it's kind of like, okay, this is more dramatic.
Oh,
and better than anything in the movie. And sometimes that you must both have had experiences of people going off or whatever and going, can we get this on film?
Oh gosh, so much. Or just like being around like funny crew people, be like, this guy's funnier than anything we're doing.
Than everything in the movie.
Like this the Teamster that I talked to every day. Where it's I just remember like kind of being on set one day, like trudging to set, and they're like, God, I can't believe it's only Tuesday. And this Teamster was like, it's Thursday, Luke. I'm like, no, man, it's only Tuesday. It's like, it's Thursday. It's always Thursday. That was this guy's like motto.
The attitude,
his thing.
It's always Thursday.
I had a Teamster.
Only one day to go.
Yeah.
Every day is one day to go.
You ever have a crew guy stand next to you, Luke, and then they go, you might not have this because they say the fucking ballsy shit sometimes. One guy goes, this one's a little light on the laughs, huh? I'm like, what the fuck, this movie? But I'm like a hired hand. I didn't write it. I'm like, I mean, I don't know, dude. We're doing our best with it.
Oh yeah. Well, now
a little soft.
Well, now it's just like, people texting, like you look over and see that.
They're talking about you.
Like, well, do I want this guy, texting or smirking at me or looking at me? What the fuck are these guys doing?
Yeah,
it really is funny. But yeah, definitely those, what you were saying, so many instances of like, God, if the movie could be as good as what's going on in the making of the movie.
Behind the scenes? When I was doing Road to Wellville with Anthony Hopkins, the smartest guy in the set was the head of makeup, and his name happened to be Peter Frampton. But he could dissect the script, why it's working. That's the one. No, I mean, it was effortless for him. I go,
I hope he stood behind the director.
Well, that was an Irish. That crew was Irish, I guess, or Scottish, whatever. But after the lunch break, the entire camera area smelled like Guinness beer. Like, I'm not kidding. Like, everybody would have like 8 or 10 pints to come out for the second part of this.
Jesus.
Oh,
and there was a whole drama with the director and this woman, and you'd be screaming, and he's hungover, and then he's going after it. Like, so anyway, the making of movies.
Well, no, that's I just heard someone saying, like, talking about Cinecittà, the famous Roman studio. I've never gotten to work there, but this actor was saying, like, yeah, I always like working at Cinecittà, and you'd go to lunch and everyone would drink wine and you go back to work. But I mean, I do kind of can't help but romanticize those old days of filmmaking. Although I am kind of glad I missed that the 80s in Hollywood sound a little dicey in terms of
for safety.
Well, just like just night shoots and like guys, kind of. Doing drugs on the different trucks and
I think that might still be going on. I don't love night shoots. I don't love some sets are actually really fun, Dana. Some are fun, some are fucking work. And it's
and then there is the classic thing where you have a great time on a set, and the thing doesn't work, and then there are those times when it's been a grind and it does work. Or you hear about like Deborah Winger and Richard Gere hated each other on An Officer and a Gentleman, and it just seems like this incredible love story where,
And what is the alpha male thing of like, do we have to shoot 25 hours straight? Because the crew, the first day, the crew looks fresh faced. 3 weeks in, they look like 100 years older. Like, yeah, we're gonna go triple overtime tonight, and it's like the most tired I've ever been in my life. Literally, was when I was walking to Stan Mikita's. I was gonna do Garth singing and dancing a song called Foxy Lady. And I'm walking there, and I'd been on the set 21 hours. I thought, this is crazy. Like the most tired I've been in my life. Now I've got to bring it to this thing I dreamed of my whole life. But
I think they're actually kind of now, like, because I just worked on something that had these really long hours, but I would come in on a Tuesday and a Thursday and do a scene or two. So I'd always be in a great mood. And just over the course of 4 months, people were just a little less friendly every time I went back.
And some people have rapophobia.
What do you mean? They were just angry? Or
well, just getting kind of worn out. Whereas, like, first week it's like, introduce yourself to like the camera grip. He's like, hey, my man, like, big fan. Like, we're gonna have a good time together, buddy. It's gonna be great. And a month later, it's like, hey, Luke, how you doing? Then
hey, Luke, your line's sick.
And then I was like, it's called a mark. If you could hit it, it'd be great. If you need a sandbag, we can do that. But you got to hit it because that's what it's lit for.
The DP's on his back under some kind of camera rig, reaching up like this, holding a light. All right, let's go.
I'm always standing by some union teams are going, we're never going to use this shot. I'm like, I listen, I can't, I have to do it. Whatever it is, I got to do it. They point me. I try to chime in and chirp up. You can't get away with shit. They're just like, it's a grind. People want to fill that day. They got to fill.
I don't know if I jinxed it, but I was on Little Nicky, and it was one of Adam Sandler, who's our biggest movie star. But anyway, I remember it was a night shoot, and it's like a Halloween film or something, because everyone's a little monster
or something.
And I'm standing next to Jack Jarabuto, the producer. I just, without thinking, I said, "Is this gonna work?"
Because it's so hard.
Well, I remember I would say that to like, Mike Judge on Idiocracy. We'd be doing something, and I'd say like, Mike, is this too much?
Is it too dumb?
Right. And Mike would say, you don't think it's funny? And I was like, Mike, I think it's funny, but I mean, I'm completely immature. I'm like, 14 inside. I of course think it's funny. I'm thinking about the critics and regular citizens.
Citizens. Yeah.
We had Mike on this podcast.
I know. That was great.
And he's funny.
And the visual on the Zoom, when he goes into it was making me laugh so hard because he would become the character he does.
Oh, yeah.
Subtly.
And you can see him kind of like swallow and like turn. And speaking of like friends,
King of the Hill guy.
Yeah. Speaking of friends, like I can remember Mike talking about these guys that he'd grown up with, and he might have even talked about it on your show, but somehow, they were all kind of, 12 to 14, and somehow they mentioned, Teddy Kennedy running for president. One of the friends said, he can never be president because of Chappaquiddick. And then one friend was like, he'll never get to be president because of Chappaquiddick. And they were like, no, Danny, you don't know what the hell Chappaquiddick is. And then they got into it. He said, yeah, I do. I'm not stupid. I know what Chappaquiddick is. And I'm like, okay, what is it? And he was like, Chappaquiddick is it's a bird.
It's a bird. That's why you can't run?
Yeah.
Because of a bird?
No, this guy didn't know what Chappaquiddick.
No, I'm saying it's funny, but that's made sense to him. Yeah. He's like, right, because the whole bird thing.
Was it David Fry who did an album that had part of that on it? It was somewhere I remember a comedian, maybe it was Monty Python. And the line was Kennedy saying, "When I return, Mary Jo and the car were gone." I just remember that. I don't know.
God, picture with Twitter back then. Everyone would be fucking analyzing everything back. You couldn't kill anyone back then.
Yeah.
I mean, you could. Today it's tougher. Look at Dana just did a baby Trump. You see this for me?
Yeah. This is baby Trump.
Hey.
It's a baby Trump.
Like
a baby.
organism.
He comes up. It's happening. Venus
if they
Trump.
cut the sound off with his hands these days, with this, the
He's
accordion,
this.
and then the little thing with his form finger and thumb. We'll go in there and they said this, and the baby comes out, and they do it. Sorry, you can't say that. The baby comes out, and a lot of times.
A lot of times,
many people are saying it.
Everyone's saying it.
Everyone's saying it.
A lot of people.
No, I don't. It was the best president here in the world. That's why I'm going to step
my granddad always said, Joey. I mean, he always gets me with that because I lean in like he would politely with kind of an older person. So he said, what? Your granddad said what?
What did he say?
Dad lost his job.
No, Joe. You can't do that.
I like when he said they're trying to push him out. He goes, I'm not going anywhere. He goes, one time in the playground, Corn Pop gave me some fucking lip, told me to get off the playground. I said, I've never bashed his fucking brains in. I'm like, all right, maybe it's time. Okay. I fucking pushed that motherfucker. Okay. Dana likes that one. Look, Luke.
Look, and why is it coming up? Now you got one.
I don't know. I can make it happen.
Like what I like during that, the whole kind of, is he going to stay in or get out? Like, I guess this is just last week, but
yeah.
Was it Jim Clyburn? I don't know where this guy's from, but
Clyburn,
Clyburn, but he said, I am all in. I am riding with Biden.
That's his last thing before he quits.
Yeah, it was great. He had me saying that for a day. I am all in. I am riding with Clyde. I'm riding with Biden.
Yeah.
I'm riding with Biden, and whatever Joe wants to do, I will support him 100%. What? Dropped out? Well, fuck me with a spoon. I don't understand.
Kamala.
I never liked him. That guy was a demented cadaver from day one. But 3 seconds ago, you said he was articulate.
One foot in the grave.
Get out of my face, about bitch. Yesterday when I want to talk about the future of this country.
This guy's living in the past.
Yeah.
You living in the past, and I'm talking about making things happen fast and going towards excellence.
I'll tell you what happened. I think that whole crew behind Biden gaslit themselves. And that's why they agreed to that first debate. I think it'd be good. You think it'd be good? Yeah. Let's put them out there with Trump.
No training wheels. Push them out.
Oh, no. The puppet needs a puppet master. And this don't look good. I don't know what character this is, but it's my new character.
It's good. And I like how when you do it, somehow your camera thing starts shaking.
Oh, well, that's because I have a rickety.
Oh, maybe give him a Japanese earthquake.
It's like the comedy quake.
Mm-hmm.
This is something you can't do anymore, but we'll just do it. This is a Japanese man in an earthquake. What is it? What is it? What is it?
Mm-hmm.
What is it?
Tremor? It went away. It's fine. Wait, something's going on. It's cutting out his sound
too. We've done this before in the podcast.
I know, it's good.
You're not going to get
It's great, though.
That's
You're
on
not going to get canceled.
That's on Superfly, yeah. We've never done it over here.
I used to do a bit about the origin of languages. This is part of a longer bit of where accents came from. And with the Japanese, I thought maybe it was all the seismic activity begat this is, and so
makes no sense.
I didn't do it for a while.
I'm talking about the origins of accents here. Okay, you're getting fixated on this.
Yeah. And I bust myself. Why would anyone go across Europe with their sleeping bags? Let's go find a place to live and take a hard right and go to Scandinavia. They had to be stupid. That's why they talk like this. Let's get in the snow, okay? Hey. So I make fun of my tribe.
What are you guys, by the way? What is your heritage?
Irish, Scottish, Swedish, and Norwegian. What about David? You're up.
I think
I'm seeing a lot of Dane and a lot of German when I look at this fella.
Yeah,
I see German.
A lot of pasty shit. We shouldn't all be on the same Zoom. It's making me and Dane look bad. But you're like tan. Is that golf related or what is it? Because I'm angry about it.
I live 100 miles away from the person who cuts my hair. So that's why.
No, your hair's got a little flip in the very, very middle. It looks good.
I don't know what's going on with it, but I live 100 miles away. Should I get a more localized haircut or person? Maybe. Right now.
Where do you live? Do you live up north of LA?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm out in the woods.
Nice.
He lives in an undisclosed
Good,
location.
nice little estate. Yeah, I think I know the name of the town. I guess I'll not say it because I don't.
Don't say it.
Because I don't want to. What would be the equivalent of Swifties for Carveys? I don't want to.
Yeah, I got some Carveys.
I don't want any Carveys going out there.
By the way, pop quiz, fellas. You ever met a Carvey? You've met a Carey. You've met a Garney. But if you ever met a Carvey,
Met a Carney.
you've never met because there's only 5 of us in North America.
Jesus.
No, that's good, and not a lot of spades too.
Not too many spades. Got the Spade Brigade over here.
God, Spade's a great name for Ace of Spades. He's got
It is. I mean,
I remember Chris Rock goes, Spade. Everybody thinks we made up our names. I didn't. Did you? I go, no. And he goes, now, Farley. I've heard that one before.
But even Farley somehow, matched Farley.
He's the Farley, though.
Yeah, he is the Farley, and somehow it was a great kind of name for him.
That's a great one. Yeah,
it's kind of
like a big dog.
It's kind of lovable and but kind of crazy sounding.
Yeah, you're right. And Chris Rock suits. It's such a
Rock
that showbiz name.
And then he's out there. Yeah,
like Belushi. Belushi was perfect
a
for him,
good one.
and that's a perfect example. That's like a Carvey. Had never heard that before.
I never heard Belushi.
Mm-hmm.
Aykroyd is a good weird one that you don't hear a lot.
Hey, look, I was going to ask you guys, because in terms of SNL, like, did you guys have a thing where once because I just going to do Seth Meyers, like a month ago, and that 8H hallway where it's chronological order, all the, those great cash shots where I, started at the very beginning and, 75 and, which I wouldn't have seen as a kid. But then when I started watching, kind of late 70s with my, my dad and brothers. But then did you guys have a thing right around maybe 9th or 10th grade, when you started doing something on Saturday night when you could stay out till like midnight, where I feel like I missed quite a few years. And of course, you couldn't see things viral. But I feel like I missed a few seasons because it's when I'd started kind of, hanging around with friends on Saturday night.
Yeah.
And even in 7th and 8th, grade, you're at home, you're not going out.
You can't go out too late. That's the pocket of when you like a cast.
Exactly. That's what I mean. Where you really.
What was your cast?
I mean, that would have been the Eddie Murphy, that would have been like kind of, 12, 10, 11, 12, 13, but then
you're 68, so that would be. I don't know how old you are. No, Luke, you're not. You're young.
No, we want you born in 19.
Dana, did you watch those first, like the 75ers and the 76?
Yeah, I mean, two things to unpack here. One is I never learned. I love that phrase. I never learned how to program a VCR or record, so I had to watch it live. I don't know when the VCR came in, but I was in college during those years, and I definitely copied Dan Aykroyd's Jimmy Carter and stuff like that. So I was aware of all that and having that dream. But I would miss shows because I was doing, toward that later part of the 70s, I was working clubs, and there'd be a second show, and I'd be on stage.
Yeah.
And then in the 90s, when I got off SNL, I was working a lot, had a family, and I never learned how to program a VCR. So I did miss a lot of shows.
Yeah. That's
now everything's, I know.
Yeah,
you have to catch the rerun.
Now, of course, now tape it, watch them all, or see it live.
Twitter, YouTube.
You guys, if you don't know about this, Peacock, I'll do at 8:30 Pacific time. You get to watch the show live.
I think even on California. I think even on satellite, Dish TV, it comes on early, which is always nice.
Yeah. So.
You don't really earn it though. You used to have to stay up. Tough. 11:30 was tough.
Yeah,
as a kid.
10:30 in Dallas, it came on. Yeah,
my dad would yell at me. No, he wouldn't. He left. He left early. He left when I was 4. You guys, we should just wrap it up with that.
You guys missed. The fun part was going to a drive-in movie. Me and 2 of my brothers. I had 3 older brothers. All night creature features. All night Vincent Price. Strangling, murder, mayhem.
Who took you there? Oh,
Brad.
damn it, Dana.
Brad.
Was it your dad?
No, Brad, the guy who played Garth.
Oh, he took you to the, and you guys just fucking crashed there.
Yeah, we're just little brothers. He could
fun.
stay up all night. I would not make it all the way to dawn. But
you were the youngest of four, Dana?
I had a younger sister.
Okay.
But I was the youngest brother. They wanted a girl. I was the fourth one. So can we at least give them a girl's name? So that's why they got that. Better than Susan. Good night.
So you're three boys. Mine was three boys.
Oh, kid.
Four boys.
Four.
Boys.
And Luke, what were you?
Three boys.
Yeah.
And where were you in the birth order, Dave?
I'm last. I was the youngest.
Really? Interesting.
I guess the youngest isn't really used with me a lot anymore, but I was the youngest and I was really super adorable. And these are other people's words.
I know.
And,
I saw you on that.
My dad said we were a hassle. I swear later, I go, I love that you wanted to have kids and you split. And he goes, you're a fucking hassle, man. I go, that's what we're going with. That's your company line. And no one's told you that's not what you should say to your kids. He's like, hey, you're a fucking pain in the ass.
I remember my dad one time losing his temper with us saying, when you all three get together, you're your own lowest common denominator. I was so bad at math, but I just knew that was that. Okay,
I don't even. Sounds bad.
Good.
We would have fought you if the Carvey brothers, different era. If we were up with you, Wilson guys, there would have been fist fights.
What?
For sure.
Why? Just
because my dad had a
asses?
boxing ring and we had boxing gloves, and we would have boxing
beat the shit out of each other.
Boxing match.
I mean, isn't it amazing about the teasing that goes on in families? And I feel like just like with the Owens, two little boys, they're 10 and 13, but they're really nice to each other. I mean, there's like a little teasing going on, but I mean, when we were growing up, it was
brutal.
It was really,
my brother wanted to kill me. My brother wanted me out.
Yeah. I remember I was really excited. I got these white suede Docksiders that I'd saved up money to get. And, I mean, boy, talk about regretting a purchase. Once my brothers and my dad started making fun of me about these babies.
Your dad?
Oh, my dad.
Your dad jumped in.
My dad called them the Dusties. He's like, yeah, why don't you tell put the Dusties on. Let's go get some breakfast.
What does that mean?
What did they look like? I'm sorry.
You know Docksiders, right?
I only know desert
Topsiders.
Like
the shoes with the strings through them almost.
Exactly, and the
leather.
Oh,
okay.
They were
because you were near the water.
No, we weren't, but they were. They were.
I had them when I was in Arizona.
So. Those kind of boat shoes. Yeah, that would be humiliating.
And guys wore them around, in the late 70s, early 80s. But somehow I got a pair of white suede ones I discovered.
God damn.
Yeah,
I would have jumped in on that beating.
I would have teased you. I would have gone. I would have gone to town on that, man.
You look like fucking a racer.
You set up everybody in that family.
It's either like, when you're in that position of wearing the Dusties, you either, get your feelings hurt and be like, hey, you start laughing about it yourself.
It's hard to have pride when everyone hates them.
Before we go, I want to give Luke a specific compliment because I noticed it and mentioned it to my wife because she saw the movie with me. So we're watching Horizon and we're loving it because I just love Westerns. And the scene, you're kind of the head guy of this wagon train. Yeah. And so these two creepy guys kind of are looking at a woman cleaning herself and stuff. So, and then you're just trying to make the thing go fine, get everything under control. But the way you went up and approached these guys who clearly didn't give a fuck about you, they were ready to kill you, but you were really talking to them. And then the guy stood up. He's like, and then your reaction of where you decide in your, okay, I'm not going to fight over this right now, was really, really compelling. I don't know. I just really remember because I put myself in your shoes. You gotta go talk to these guys and tell them to stop doing this. And it's like so awkward. But I thought the scene was great.
Oh, thanks. That's funny you say that. That's where, Kevin Costner, he's really good and sensitive as a director. Like, because he'll go through it all and he'll start kind of acting it out physically. He's like,
thinking it
he's
out.
Like, and you don't want to go up to these fucking guys. You don't want to go back to your family. It's late. You've been on the trail all day. You've been out here 3 months. You don't want to go talk to these guys, but they've been helping you, but you got to go up there. They can't do what they've been doing. So,
I love it.
He really kind of talks
Costner.
through it. And then it's just one of those things where I'll think like, okay, if I could just kind of do it just like Kevin was doing it when he was showing it to me, that would be good. But thank you for saying that. And thank you for watching it with Mrs. Carvey. And, we'll get Dave to watch it all.
Yeah, I'm waiting for part 2. I'm going to do a whole thing at once.
Yeah. Okay, I like it. A little Horizon Marathon.
What's the new one with the?
We got to mention that.
Arlington. Were you in Arlington, right by your house or something?
Oh yeah, I was at the All-Star game where where I'd taken out the game ball for the All-Star game. And I took a couple of friends with me that I'd grown up with were there. And, they were kind of making fun of me and the fact that it wasn't televised. And they kept saying that I was the guy that gave the ball to the guy that gave the ball to the guy that gave the ball that put it on the mound. Just that it wasn't very.
That's an important job.
Right. But I have this Little League movie coming out called You Gotta Believe in late August that me and Greg Kinnear did. So that'll should be.
Yeah, because I saw it. Did you shoot it in Arlington, by the way?
We unfortunately shot it, or not unfortunately, but it was set in Fort Worth. But it's just one of those things where in order to get more bang for your buck,
because I thought you shot it in Fort Worth.
No, we went to Canada. I wish we had shot in Fort Worth.
Really? Because they did a good job.
Yeah, I'm sure they got some exterior Fort Worth shots, but yeah, it's a good little story and it's funny. And I mean, I know you guys have worked with kids before, but it's one of those things where it's kind of funny just being around these kids all day and then their parents where, Kinnear and I had fun working with them. I had to kind of yell at them a couple of times. Oh, you guys need to focus.
Yeah, for sure. But this is a new wave of kids too. It's like, like kids when we were kids, and you're like, this isn't anything like probably the kids we used to hang out with at Little League.
Oh gosh, no. It was kind of like Bad News Bears, meets the Warriors when we were growing up.
The Warriors. Oh, I love both those movies. My God.
But it's based on a true story, and it's the longest Little League World Series in history, and stuff happens. And
it's this team that kind of came, this ragtag team that came out of nowhere from Fort Worth and just kind of kept winning and got all the way to the Little League World Series and had these two coaches, one of whom the guy I play that was kind of got ill and wasn't able to coach the team. So then Kinnear's character kind of takes the team over. But yeah, it's a really good.
Reluctantly takes it over.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Kinnear and I had a fun working together because we're friends and
he seems cool.
Play a lot of golf together, and it's nothing like you guys know. There's nothing more fun than making a movie with friends. And gosh, that's the thing that so great about what Sandler does is putting those groups, and you get to do that with them.
Oh, you were in the Ridiculous Six.
I mean that's where I got to see the whole how the operation works, and it just seems like heaven. Just getting to be around your friends, having a manageable schedule, and Adam really sets the tone. And those guys, I just saw Adam and those guys are getting ready to go do Happy Gilmore too. Just getting ready to go have some fun again, and then get to make something that people will. I mean,
Happy Gilmore will be a good one. I mean, that's something looking forward to.
I think that's a great idea. And Sandler does kind of he's the overriding force in the film. Yeah. And so what he says goes. He has all his pieces in place, works with a lot of the same people. So yeah, it's all about having fun, and he knows what it's like.
Oh yeah,
when it's your take in front of the camera. You just gotta go in there. You do it. I'm sorry, David. Give me a Sandler. You gotta go in there.
I remember from the Ridiculous Six, where it was a comedic western, but Frank Coraci, Sandler's friend, was directing it, and Sam would always imitate Frank, and Frank was great with comedy and really fun to work with. But at one point he was saying, so then you guys come out of the saloon and then you go over to the cart and you jump in the cart, and Adam was like, "It's a wagon! It's a fucking wagon!" But just being out in the middle of nowhere in the desert of New Mexico and having these two guys like Adam from New Hampshire, I'm not sure where Frank's from.
I would. Fun. My stuff was with Blake Shelton and Vanilla.
Right, because I remember that house you guys filmed at.
Yeah, we shot in a house. We did like a card game. We know this game when there's 6 people around. It takes a full day to shoot, or 2 days to shoot one scene, and it was a blast.
Were you Mark Twain?
I don't think so. I was Colonel.
Oh.
No, Vanilla Ice was Mark Twain.
Okay.
Yeah.
Of course. I'm sure he's played Mark Twain in many
Vanilla
things.
Ice was really good in that scene. I remember watching I mean, he was.
No, we had a blast.
Robbie.
All right. Oh, yeah. Luke, we'll have to play golf again one day because we played one time and I kind of was a puss. Dana, it was super hot like it was yesterday. And then
did you just go 9?
Luke took me 9. I was with my buddy Jody. And then I told him, I got a bad neck. I can do 9. Yeah. We get to 9. He goes, "You're not fucking going anywhere." And so he drove through that little tunnel. You didn't let me get out. And then here we are playing 18, sweating sickeningly. But I think I'm better. I think I'm about 0.5% better than I was.
I'm getting worse and worse as I'm getting older. But it is nice to get out there and be outside.
No, it's definitely fun. I want to look like you when we get outside.
The only way to enjoy it is just assume you're terrible.
Yeah.
And you don't take it seriously. And usually you get one good shot per hole that's decent, either your chip or putt or something.
Yeah. I yell pro
keeps
shot.
You coming back. But I look at people taking it. My brother would throw tantrums. I mean, he did a Tommy Hawk with his putter on the green, like, "What the fuck?" And I go, "Scott, you're terrible, and so am I. I mean, we're all awful."
Yeah.
It's hard not to get mad.
It is. I remember a story Pete Sampras told me about seeing Jack Nicholson at the golf course and said, "Hey, Jack, how you doing?" And Jack was like, Good. I came close today to giving up the game." And he was like, "Oh." and Nicholson said, "Yeah, I told myself if I ever broke 70, that's it." And I was right there. I was going to shoot a 69, and I 3-putted, so I get to keep playing. And Pete was like, "You shot a 70, Jack? That's great." I was like, "Yeah, I shot a 70."
On a par 9?
No. Yeah.
No one plays 9 but me, Dana. It's 18.
My older brother tried with a 9, tried to get over a little pond. And we've all hit
tin cup,
and he's got a 9-iron. He
Splash,
13 times.
Splash. Tin
He
cup.
would do, if you stood behind him, sometimes he'd hit the edge of the ball and it would whiff over your head. He was literally a danger to other players. He tried 13 times and didn't get it over, and he never golfed again. That was it. He walked off. He wasn't even mad. Just like, that's it.
I'm not good.
Then he would just caddy. He would just caddy for us.
I'm done. No more.
Done.
Right,
That's it.
I'm done.
Thank you, Luke.
Hey, guys.
Luke,
thanks a ton. So nice to talk to you. The show is so funny and interesting. So really,
thank you.
Really enjoy listening to
on.
it. Listen to them all the time. So thank you. Keep knocking them out for us.
I appreciate it, buddy.
Let's all go to that restaurant that Neelan, Owen, you and I will bring Spade too.
Yeah, I would love to get dinner with you, Dana.
Yeah,
especially if there's a beginnings of a pandemic, then we'll go there.
Yeah,
just to repeat
that's the only reason we're gonna go.
Well, because then everything.
Let's hope we don't shut the world down again. Like somehow that trio, man, shut down civilization.
It's in Fauci's book. All right.
Okay, fellas. Guys. Thanks very much. Take it
thanks,
easy.
Luke.
Have a good rest of the summer.
Thanks, buddy. You too.
Dennis Quaid is on the show this week, and I really like Dennis Quaid. You know, what a stud, versatile actor, especially because he's playing Reagan now, which I wouldn't
He's
have
got
seen
a new
coming.
movie coming out where he plays Ronald Reagan.
Yeah.
And he plays him at every age, basically. I mean, from 30 to the 85 or whatever it was. So yeah,
From 30
it was great
months
to have him.
to
He was
85
one. He
years
was.
old.
It's like a real movie star. I mean, he came out in the early 80s, and he's been just making consistent, great stuff. Fun to talk to. Super casual. One thing we must say to you, which is kind of humorous, he brought this very adorable bulldog.
Oh, right.
That was lying at my feet, and it had
Oh,
its
my
legs
God.
out. It was almost like on its back, and it was just sort of sleeping, I thought, and snoring. He said, no, I think it was a she. She's not asleep. It's just,
Peaches, maybe?
Peaches is just really content. So if you hear kind of heavy breathing, don't think anything's going on.
I was literally looking at Dennis going, are we going to keep going? So anyway, you might hear a low buzzsaw.
Yes.
Meow in the background.
Yes, and we get to talk about The Right Stuff, which is still the favorite movie he was ever part of, which is like this classic first time astronauts. And it was his coming out movie and then he just had all these amazing hits.
Right. Even movies like, I'd say even movies, but like The Day After Tomorrow with Jake Gyllenhaal, I thought was cool. He does
Inner
good
Space.
movies. He's been around for a while. Good comedy. He hosted. Great dude. Good looking, which is the most important. And he was a lot of fun. He came in and we did it in person, which we don't always do. And we got to do that.
He has no airs about him. He's just like a casual dude. And I asked him toward the end, are you a pirate or a cowboy? And when you listen, you'll find out his answer.
Yeah. He was married to Meg Ryan. That's another piece of trivia. We had a great time with him. Here he is, Dennis Quaid. '90s paid for that.
90s, everybody,
Whoa.
come on over.
Come on, boss.
Dennis, I'm great.
Yeah, come on down.
Greg,
we,
how you
we
doing?
all did better. Let me see.
Ah,
Let me
the
see. Have a
90s.
seat, bud.
Are we always recording? We're always recording.
All right.
What was your biggest
McConaughey,
financial
man, The
decade?
wisdom of McConaughey, ABR.
Always be ready.
Always be
I do.
recording.
McConaughey as a
Or rolling.
roller coaster operator. All righty, ride. That's all I got.
Well,
Nice and quick.
I guess we'll have to talk about that too.
I know.
So you're still ripped.
You did.
What?
He's still ripped.
I'm vain.
Yeah. Are you?
So I'm not going to give it up.
I'm vain. I'm not
vain
that
too.
ripped.
Can you tell?
Great.
Well, I'm a lighter frame.
This
You know.
would be VA, Vain Anonymous,
At your
I guess.
peak musculature, were you like 5'10", 180 kind of guy? Because you look like you could beat someone up in a movie.
I'm 6 feet. And I'm 6 feet, 180.
6 feet, 180.
Yeah.
So I'm in a movie.
Always have been.
I'm in a movie with Burt Lancaster and Kirk Douglas, and they throwing punches, and it's just. So my character, I don't know how anyone thinks about me. My punch is like dink. I go, fuck, guys.
You were in a movie with Burt Lancaster,
Yes, I
Kirk
was.
Douglas?
Yeah. Their
That
last
would be
movie.
the
Tough Guys.
Wyatt Earp, Doc Holliday reunion.
Basically, yes. It was an extraordinary thing to be around them. I mean, mind-blowing and ridiculous. You
No
know?
kidding.
Yeah.
Especially Kirk.
Oh, Kirk, man.
Man, he was in shape when he was in his 90s.
Kirk, yeah, you still do it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He would do like max push-ups, max sit-ups. He had weights in his place, and apparently when the director would go in there, he just wouldn't have any clothes on. I don't even know if it was homoerotic. He just, I don't like to wear clothes. You know, and he's doing push-ups naked. I go, I don't want to see that.
He and Dick Van Dyke.
Dick Van Dyke.
Dick
Jesus,
Van
is he
Dyke
any good?
also was a nudist.
No, he's nearing 100.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I mean, this is a good topic, actually. Actors who make it.
Mel Brooks
That
is
late.
98.
George Burns.
Well,
Lovitz ran into George Burns in Vegas, and he said, I got 18 months. It got down to like 18 months is what he felt he had. And he
What
died.
did
Really?
He died
actually-
18 months later.
was
Wow.
it some cigars? What did he die from?
Well, he was 100.
I know, but was there anything?
Yeah,
be
but
a
there's
vegetable
something that
soup
smoking
now.
eventually gets you.
Yeah, see,
Yeah.
I told you, smoking kills. So that was an old Norm
Mm.
Macdonald
No.
joke. So you made it. We got Dennis Quaid here, everybody. We do an intro before, so don't worry. We're gonna
Yeah.
we're gonna fucking
We got
puff
his height
you up.
and weight. He's still ripped.
I know I'm in great hands.
Yeah, nothing bad can happen here.
Nothing bad can happen here, and there are no rules, and we've already started, and we're halfway done.
You're almost, yeah, you're almost out of
How
here.
are you, man? It's been a long. See, last time I saw you was
Yeah.
on an airplane.
Yeah,
coming from New York.
What were we doing? Was it some upfronts or something?
I was doing upfronts. Yeah, that's
Okay.
right. That's why we were both on
And
the
we
plane.
were, because we took a picture on the plane.
Yeah, and I'd just done that hoax
Oh, that's
about
right.
that. I'd had a meltdown on the set.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
And then I had you like in a headlock, or you had me in a headlock on the
And then
photo.
3 days later,
Yeah.
released it that it was all a hoax. And it was
We were on some.
You did a hoax together?
He did a
I didn't get
hoax
the memo.
online, and people thought he flipped out in the set. I think that was it, right?
Yeah.
Oh.
And that someone caught
Funny.
it from a camera.
yeah, Funny or Die.
Oh, Funny or Die
yeah,
thing. Oh,
that
yeah.
I'd
yeah.
had a serious meltdown on
Very
the set,
believable
and then
meltdown.
it turned out that it was just a comedy skit.
The last time I saw you, I don't know if we interacted. I was at the par 3 golf course in Studio City with Lovett.
Whitsett?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, and
is Lovett still there?
Yeah.
He never leaves that place.
He's a caddy.
if there's pie there, he's there. We love you, John.
yeah,
They
we
put a
love you.
pie
No, I
there.
talked to him earlier today, and anyway, he's
Tell Dennis Quaid.
hysterical.
Yeah, he gets excited.
But you were just booming, driving the ball.
And cursing in between.
Are you still any
I don't
good?
I could be
Well,
not quite there yet.
No time.
Yeah,
do you understand what it means to maybe at one point have a 1 handicap? Is that true?
yeah.
That's like not normal for an actor.
Oh, it's called too much time on your hands, I guess.
It's called between films.
Like, you have these deluded dreams of, wow, maybe I could actually go on the tour. But that was a passing phase. And, takes
And
Do
you
you know
got
how
that
bad
good?
most
Jesus.
golfers are? I mean, just
Yeah, I know. I'm
they're
one of them.
horrible. No, but
I'm an 8 handicap now.
but that means, I mean, I would shoot 100. Okay, if I was playing by real rules on a real course.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
have shot 100 before.
Oh, I feel
Yeah.
better.
Sometimes you
just
do
try-
go by the real rules. You have to. I'm a 800 handicap. I don't know what that means, but I was told that early on. No, I actually try to play,
That's
but
about a 15-hour round.
yeah,
That's
is
what
it?
it
Yeah.
is.
You live here or not? So,
I live in Nashville primarily.
Oh,
My kids are here, and so during the school year, I come back here
Okay.
every
Everyone
other
loves
2
Nashville
weeks.
now. What's the deal?
What?
Is the tax rate? Nashville, which I've played there, it's a great town.
It's
But-
fantastic.
And zero state tax.
They have zero state tax. That's true. But
Fucking
it's the vibe that is going on there. There's kind of an artistic collegial atmosphere that's happening there. It's not your grandpa's Nashville anymore. It's hard to find a hush puppy. In fact,
I see. Yeah.
and it's just great.
Yeah.
75% of all music done in the United States, regardless of genre, is done in Nashville.
That's what I would tell people. If you walk down the main drag and you go into a bar or whatever, you see like one of the best country western bands you've ever seen. And then you walk a few more feet, and then you see a family doing it.
Yeah.
Great country western. So, and that's another one of your things we'll get to. You are a number 1 gospel song, Fallen, which I listened to today.
Yeah.
Great song.
Thanks.
And you really can sing. Do you ever
Sometimes.
Do you ever
But
go
do you
in
ever
there-
look at other bands of actors? Because the people, you have to earn a lot of respect when you're an actor. And guess what? I could do this other thing. Costner has one.
Mm.
Jim Belushi has
Keanu Reeves?
Yeah.
Keanu Reeves. So it's pretty cool that you've made
There's
a name.
quite a bit. It's either that or, athletes want to be actors or
Yeah.
they want to be basketball players and football players or, it's just something I've always done. Music is just something I've done since I was 12 years old. And songwriting, I knew I was never going to shred a guitar. So I turned to songwriting early. And then I've always had a band. And so
So,
it's just something I do.
so what hit you hard? Because we're pretty much the same age.
Yeah.
So that would be, but your kind of country western got you more like Johnny Cash, or were you blown away by the Beatles and all that?
All of that.
All of it. So
All of that.
Yeah.
Grew up in Houston. It's a pretty eclectic place. Actually, grew up musically, and I remember Elvis. I remember Hank Williams. I remember my dad would croon around to Bing Crosby. That was
Sure.
his Elvis, and Dean Martin, and then the Beatles came along, and
Everything.
that
shit
blew
up.
everything out of the water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We love it.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you ever go to Kid Rock's Country Shit Kicker Circus?
Yep.
That's a bar down there.
Yep.
It should be called Bubba Trump's, to be honest.
Yeah.
Is that in
He's got another one over at his place too.
Oh, his house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fun.
His church or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been to the old.
He's quite a guy.
He's the mayor of Nashville, pretty much.
He's the mayor of Broadway. That's for sure.
Yeah. There's actually every other, Dana, if you go there, when I did the Ryman or whatever last time, every couple bars is a country western singers bar.
Yeah.
Like Aldine, I think there's one of
Yep.
those. There's
Tanya Tucker's.
Is there Tanya Tucker?
She's gonna. It's Tanya.
It's Tanya.
But, she's getting ready to open
What is the
a place.
Tennessee accent? I always thought it was almost like an Al Gore or something. Or
Al Gore is from Tennessee. Yeah,
I
it
just
is
say
true.
umbrage kind of.
You know, so many people in Texas came from Tennessee. It's kind of like very similar, I think. You know,
Yeah.
it was the West back then.
So you
It's an Andrew Jackson accent, I think.
Is that the president?
Everybody knows that.
Well, I do an Andrew Jackson because no one can prove it's not a good one.
Yeah, you do a good one.
I am Andrew Jackson.
I said, boy.
I'm Andrew Jackson here right now.
You've
If you
done-
can't do the impression,
Guy, you've done just about every president there is.
between you and me, you did Clinton in a movie,
Yeah, I did.
which was great. I mean,
Yeah.
you're.
It was fantastic.
What's interesting, someone asked me and wrote a really good script as a live streaming show to do Perot in a biopic, like what you just did with Reagan.
Yeah.
And it was a really good script. I just wouldn't even know how to approach that. But that, I don't really want to get into how you're, because you don't want to do a caricature. You want to be the character.
I voted for Ross Perot.
here's the deal.
I will bust my buns
I
and bite
did.
me with a butterfly.
You're welcome, sir.
Can I do Ross Perot as James Brown
Because like
now?
you said, saving and, to get around the economic crisis, it'll be fun. I'm surprised that we even had a baby that learned to walk around here. It's hell so much.
The greatest character in the history of politics.
Yeah, it was fabulous.
In my act now, I do him as James Brown. Can I come in on the one? Can I come in on the one? See, he gets the joke.
I get it.
I got it. Okay.
Music joke.
Can I come in on the one? Yeah, it was a revolutionary thing that James Brown came. It's not 1, 2, 3, 4. It's 1, which creates this whole,
Yeah.
Good stuff. Okay, well,
Well, you did Reagan.
Sorry, David.
No, I want to talk about Reagan because
he does Michael J. Fox
getting pegged.
from the movie Casualties of War. If you
No.
haven't heard it, you have to do it. If you've heard it, don't do it.
It's hard to get me out of my shell. but
Michael
I'll
J.
do it.
Fox from Casualties of War.
Remember Casualties of War?
With
yes,
Sean
I do.
Penn.
Yes,
Sean
yes,
Penn?
I do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hey, Sarge, what are we doing here exactly? You got to give me a minute on this here, Sarge. Come on. Mallory? I combined it.
Well,
That's all I got,
The
Dennis.
fact
I mean,
that it exists
that's
is
fabulous.
funny. It's fabulous 'cause that someone thought to do Michael J. Fox from that particular film.
movie.
and he
It's
did that
fantastic.
movie, which was
When you do it, it's not like an impersonation. It's like
He's
you
here.
are Michael
He's
J.
here.
Fox.
Sean Penn, John C. Riley. It was.
I even see the haircut.
I think I wanted to be like Michael J. Fox when I got into showbiz, and then I gave that up quickly. But he was too famous, too good. He was great.
Well, let's give a little shout out to Michael J.
Mike
Fox.
Yes, let's do it, man.
If you look at Back to the Future and how hard it is to play that part and how brilliantly he did it, it's amazing. He's in
He had
love
to go
with his
back in
mom
time.
and many, many other films. So
He's besides being an incredible person.
yeah,
He really has been. He's love the guy.
extraordinary.
What about this
life.
Reagan thing? Let's talk about that.
The Reagan thing.
You played
Isn't it,
Reagan.
first of all, contextually,
Yes.
it's interesting that this is now probably started 2 years ago or whatever. It's coming out.
Started really 6 years ago.
Yeah. So this is the most tumultuous time in the history of American politics by any measure.
Yeah.
At the very moment we're doing this podcast, and your Reagan biopic is coming out August
August 30th.
Okay.
So right after the Democratic National Convention.
I guess so, yeah.
Do you
I think they're going to close with the screening of the race.
Yeah, Biden. Here's a biopic. Dennis Quaid is going to. What? I tell you, come on.
Hey, Reagan's here.
Let's get real. The fact of the deal is, come on. There's no doubt what we did there in the people's spot. Do you think you have the cognitive discipline to be president? Yeah.
Oh,
Sorry, he's my new toy. But so Reagan, let's start like you did Clinton.
I did Clinton.
And
that
you won
was
awards
back,
for that.
2005, something like that. And I actually played a George Bush type character in American Dreams.
That's right.
With a Z.
You weren't technically George W., but you were
No,
George.
but-
So how did that guy sound?
He kind of, sort of. I can't even go there anymore. He kind of, sort of sounded like George Bush.
Right.
And then, you got a Cheney character, So it's pretty obvious. But then
Right.
I was offered Reagan, I guess this is 2018,
Mm-hmm.
something like and he was my favorite president. And he's like Muhammad Ali, he's like known
Sure.
all over the world and like this. So it took me a while to say yes, because it was just scared to death to play him.
And it seems like you were the perfect choice. I mean,
I didn't see it that way.
Once
you have
do
kind
it,
of a head. I mean, there is
A big head is that what you're trying to get to?
your
you're
head is
square jawed. You
Yeah.
know, it's like I can't play
Abnormal.
Reagan. But you mean you kind of you were physically they could kind of.
Yeah, well, I said
suspend
we're both
disbelief.
actors. We both have sunny dispositions, I
Mhm.
think.
Mhm.
But, it was like everybody in the world knows what he looked like, sounded like. And I just didn't really feel it was just
it's a tough one.
a tough one to like take on.
Yeah.
And
Sure.
Oh yeah.
so I thought about it for a while. And then because where's the way in? You don't want to do an impersonation,
No.
That's pretty easy. And
Yeah. Nancy and all that.
that's right. And so it took me a while to really kind of get into who he was as a person.
and
I went up to the Reagan Ranch, was Western White House back
Mm-hmm.
there, and it's not a public place. His
Mhm.
friends bought it to keep it as it was.
Mhm.
Their clothes are in the closet there. You expect them to
Oh.
come back any second. They didn't change a thing.
Interesting.
And you go up 5 miles of the worst road in California and get to the top, and I realized that Reagan was a humble man. He wasn't a rich man. And they had a king size bed, but it was 2 single beds that were zip tied together.
Jesus.
They did have GE. They had GE appliances.
Oh,
That's
wow.
from
General
the
Electric.
spokesman
Okay.
for
Fucking
GE.
money bags now.
And his
we're getting somewhere.
bookcase was there, which had every book he'd ever read, going back to when he was 9 years old.
Hmm.
And there was just a feeling there that you could just feel his presence in a way. And his Secret Service agent John was kind of the caretaker of the place.
Mm-hmm.
He told me all kinds of stories about him, and that's when I decided, yeah, I'll do it.
He's still
What-
guarding it, even though Reagan's gone. That's
Yeah,
nice.
John is gone too. He
Oh.
passed
Well,
right
that
before
joke
we started
backfired.
shooting because we wanted to put him in the movie. But
One thing that's
didn't
interesting to
happen.
me is being around during that time, and Reagan was hung in effigy
mhm.
over. They wanted a nuclear freeze, and no, we're going the other way.
yeah,
And now he's become so bright and shiny
yeah,
that even the New York Times will refer to him how he dealt with Israel once, and so and Fox News likes him. I mean, he's become this character that sort of transcends politics in a way.
yeah. There were
Mm.
Reagan Democrats that
Yeah.
came over at the time, but he was, if you remember those times, he was called a warmonger. He's going to get us into a nuclear
Mhm.
war for sure.
Yeah.
His economic policy was just for the rich, and he didn't care about the working man, and kind of like what's going on today in a sense. But he was who he was, and he also he knew how to lead. something in him knew how to lead.
He was tough. I mean, right in the first part of his administration, the air traffic controllers went on strike.
Right.
And he fired all of them.
Yeah.
That was like a tough thing at the time.
Yeah. I mean, you shut down the airspace, in the FAA, and that had never been done. An entire agency fired all of them. And I think that's when, in fact, him doing that actually made the Russians think that this guy is like, he's crazy. We better watch out. And, Reagan won the Cold War. I mean, along with the Pope and Lech Walesa, yes, but it took a Cold Warrior like that to deal with the Russians because they respected him.
Yeah.
They thought there was 80% thought, oh, well, he's reasonable. And that 20% they thought, well, he might just, if we're not careful, he might do something we regret. Yeah.
One thing that I think in terms of playing him, I wonder what you'd think about this, because watching all these different debates, different politics these days, and Reagan had a thing, and he did it with Carter, and it seems to speak to him so much that he would never get angry. And if he was misrepresented in his way, in his mind, he would say, well, there you go again. Yes. It's the most benign, likable way to say, you're lying, motherfucker.
Yeah.
There you go again.
The best one was in the debate with Mondale, when it was about his age. He said, I will not, for political purposes, exploit my opponent's youth and inexperience.
Brought down the house.
And it brought down the house. Yeah. Even Mondale couldn't help it. He cracked up. and then Reagan did a thing that I'm sure you will recognize. He did a Jack Benny. Because he had them laughing, and he just picked up his glass of water.
Oh, and just did a
just soaked it in.
Stillness.
Just drank to pause so it would
killed.
continue.
It's called killing.
It's a privilege kind of to inhabit him for a while. I mean, he just comes off so likable.
Yeah. He was everybody's dad, I think, to the boomers especially, and that's for worse, better or worse. There's a lot of people who still,
sure.
You can't mention his name and they'll kind of fly off the wall.
This seems like a nonsense.
But he was either your good dad or your bad dad.
Or bad. Yeah, I ran into Patty Davis right after 9/11 at a gym, and she was, I know, I'm just remembering this now. And she goes, I know this might come off weird, but I kind of wish Daddy was in the Oval Office now.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not that weird. Well, that would be great.
There was a reason the Iran hostages got released the day of his inauguration.
I know.
Because the Iranians didn't want to deal with Reagan.
Well, he was the kind of guy, we will not negotiate
with hostages.
And Jimmy Carter's like, well, if we're nice to them, if we're very nice, maybe they'll release the hostages.
Yeah. They'll be reasonable.
They'll be reasonable.
Like us.
Yes.
I think that's what,
That's the problem.
Well, with Americans, we're like that. We grew up like that, the golden rule and all that, what we get taught, and that we think the whole world is the same way.
Like Leave It to Beaver.
You can reason best. It's an episode of Leave It to Beaver where you could talk to Gaddafi and reason with the guy, and you should be more like Warren Beatty, if you want to protest. But his cousin, but
we get played that way.
They looked alike, but there's really bad people, bad leaders of nations out there, and they've grown up in a culture that's based on political violence or personal violence or whatever. And that's the way they act.
Right. So I agree with you. You got to play it a different way. Because we always think if we do the right thing, they'll do the right thing. And that doesn't always work. And they sort of show their cards. They're not hiding it.
No, they don't.
Since we are the world, literally, there is in the DNA in Americans a lot in the people who fought to get here and all the immigration we had and all our ancestors, that we want freedom above everything. And we don't want anyone to tell us what to do. I think if the government had said, well, would you take the COVID shot? You don't have to, but we'd kind of like you to. People might have said, okay. But once you tell a certain kind of American, you know, hey, man, fuck you. You know, it's like there's a rebellious side to us, you know.
Yeah, there's true. I am that too. I'm not a very good rule follower.
Yeah.
I'm just
like
not.
You seem like
I don't know if it's based on personal freedom or just, I don't know.
Well, when we grew up, it was question authority. That was the bumper sticker. Whoever's the authority, you know, just question them. They work for us. Remember, it's our government.
Yeah, Watergate. That did a lot after that. And Kennedy getting shot. You know, Bobby Kennedy getting shot. Martin Luther King, and then Watergate.
Yeah,
pretty much. You know, I think America was kind of walking wounded.
That's what
back then.
That was our formative years. David's a little younger, but that was
true.
That informed everything.
That's what we came into.
David's a lot younger, but
I'm like a child here.
Yeah,
I'm like with my two dads.
So when people,
no, I'm old and gross.
well,
Ask anybody.
He's like
go to
my
the comments.
He's very bright. So, David, do you have any questions?
What I do is I take it in. I think we all got introduced to Dennis during the Let's Give Him Something to Talk About video. That's where I first was introduced to you. Do you remember that video?
The something you talk about with Bonnie Raitt?
Yes.
Yes, I remember that very well.
Yeah. You look very cute in that.
I was... It was a lot of fun.
But a great musician, Bonnie Raitt, and your music guy. How do you even get involved in that?
At the time, I had a band.
Oh, okay.
The Eclectics, that was also Bonnie's road band.
See, nobody knows that.
So,
that's a good way.
How was
that
Bonnie?
together.
What?
How was Bonnie?
She seems cool as shit, huh?
I would have been a fan of her since I was like working at Astro World in Houston. Like that's when her first record came out. You know, that blues record that was like, man, it was like so different from anything in music, and I just fell in love with her and her music. And then, you know, that she was one of the first people I actually ever met. I met her like when I got to LA about very soon after that. And she was just so nice. And you cannot give her a compliment. She just, that's her only fault. She won't take a compliment. She will not do it. And
not me.
But
that's what's great about you. Took a compliment.
By the way, you got into one of her best songs. That song is great.
This song is fantastic.
That song is unreal.
Yeah, she's brilliant.
And that was before. Then I did a movie called Something to Talk About.
Oh, you did?
Right. It was in that. But that was just a coinky dink. That had nothing to do with.
Does this ring true with you that I was with Bonnie Raitt at an SNL party, and Eric Roberts and Christopher Walken were sitting next to each other?
Wow.
And Bonnie Raitt
me back to the Carvey-Central.
Bonnie Raitt looked at them and goes, God, I feel like I'm having sex just looking at him. I thought that was a really funny line.
Yeah.
You know, and they were kind of in their prime. You know, they looked like badasses.
Yeah.
It's like.
Well, I was just talking to Dana about when you did SNL, and it was probably right when I got there. I think you said right when Sandler got there, right? Because
Sandler was in that
December.
show.
Yeah, it was the Christmas show.
Yeah, that was, he just joined.
Yeah.
It was a pretty big show. It was a great show.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we did Dysfunctional.
Please don't touch me.
Leave me
I'm
alone.
doing fine. Just go away.
Yeah,
I'm doing fine.
Oh, I remember that one.
The family Christmas.
Dysfunctional.
We just talked to Bonnie and Terry Turner, the writers who wrote that.
Yeah, they were just
one of their favorite sketches they ever wrote on SNL.
It was beautiful.
That got stuck in my head. That was hilarious.
And you played the crazy pilot.
Mm-hmm.
And
that Mike Myers was on the show at that time.
Yeah.
Did you do Sprockets?
I was on Sprockets. Sprockets.
Did you touch the monkey?
Yes.
You did touch my monkey.
Ja.
That was my favorite part of that. The arbitrary.
Ich habe ihn fast on Samstagen, du bist eingeladen.
What a great time to be on the show, though. How fun. Yeah.
That was a great time.
Who was your music? Do you remember?
The Neville Brothers.
Neville Brothers.
Oh, is that because of you?
Who were, I guess it was, but I didn't ask them. You know, that was all done. It was mysterious how that all happened.
Made sense.
Yeah, they were
Yeah,
Gosh,
what
I
a
love
great
that
time.
movie, though.
Finished, Pilot Renegade guy, and then Mustang Calhoun. So they did get you on a 6-string. It's a pretty funny name for a country western guy or whatever.
Mustang Calhoun.
Mustang Calhoun.
Mustang
Can still use it. MC.
So what do you want? I just finished up with Reagan a little bit.
I love Reagan.
What's your hopes for that? Have you seen it? Are you feel great about it?
I've seen it, yeah. And we finished shooting like almost 4 years ago.
Oh, for
In fact,
real?
4 years ago will be this October when we
Because of
started
COVID
shooting
stopped
it.
the whole thing.
And so it's it's been a journey. And then
The movie got COVID.
yeah,
That's never happened.
Yeah, we got COVID. Like
Did you get shut down?
I see the scene where I got COVID in this.
Oh, really?
That's the assassination.
Oh, yeah.
See.
That's the worst kind.
Yeah, in the hospital. You're getting
shit.
by
Yeah.
a gurney past all these extras like
Oh,
that
really?
at 2 in the
You know-
morning in a basement with no
And that's when it was.
ventilation.
You must, when
Then
this
the entire
happened
crew had it.
with Trump, you must know more about assassination attempts just from knowing about the movie. So was there any questions
That was
you
the
had about
last
that?
time a president was shot. Was
Yeah,
Reagan.
it was
Yeah.
Reagan.
And you do it. It's bio. I mean, you do him young. You're doing
Yeah.
him middle age. I mean, that's also a huge challenge to do that.
I play him from 35.
yeah.
When he first came to Hollywood, through when he said goodbye to the American people in his letter
That
when
letter,
he had diagnosed with Alzheimer's.
beautiful letter. I mean,
Yeah,
only Reagan.
it's an incredible letter.
Yeah, it's just so human.
Yeah, and it was, it was a challenge. I mean, first just the voice, because in his younger days he's like way up here. We
Yeah.
all have a
Mm-hmm.
kind of a higher pitch, and eventually get down
I
to
totally agree.
where it's well,
Yeah.
and it's that, and just meeting so many people that were close to him. And one thing I found was that even to those who were very close to him, probably including Nancy, there was kind of a private place in him that was kind of unknowable.
A little bit of there's something
just
there.
that was kind of separated and distant from
Mhm.
the rest of the world.
Nancy was who plays Nancy? Because
Penelope Ann Miller,
okay,
and she
She's
is
great.
Nancy.
she's in Nancy
She
because she was in The Enforcer, right? When it came to Ronnie.
it was, a lot of people would think that, but no, they just
Or even just
they had there would have not have been a President Reagan without Nancy,
okay.
because she was just there for him.
Mm-hmm.
She really dedicated her life to their love and his aspirations, and but it's she wasn't what I call the enforcer or anything like that.
Well, I think that she protected him in a different way. Like when Reagan went to Japan, it was a 7-day trip, and Nancy insisted first they go to California, rest for a day, or then they're in Hawaii, then they're in
Oh, Brian, I
Guam.
read about that.
Rather than just like when they're whipping Biden around, I mean, that is tough at 81. You go there and back,
Right.
She was protective that way. But so was the assassination attempt, did you act that out?
Yeah.
The whole thing?
Yeah, we recreated that.
Okay.
And that was
Was James Brady shot and then also someone else, right?
James Brady, and then also the Secret
Service guy. Okay.
The famous
guy,
shot where he did
takes it in the gut like
Yeah.
that. And the shot that got Reagan was actually a ricochet off the car.
Oh,
Either off the bulletproof glass or the metal. And he was going like this, saying hello to everybody, and it caught him right here.
Oh,
And
under the arm.
it wasn't like 4 minutes of while they clear everything. They just put a hand on
Shove
top
him
of his
in.
head, shoved him
Every
in there on
second
top
counts.
of him.
Mm-hmm.
And he got up and he said, "Gosh, you almost broke my ribs." He was
'cause he
admonishing
was
the
feeling-
Secret Service for that. And
Yeah.
then, they were going to the White House. They weren't going to the hospital because he was okay, untouched. And then about 4 or 5 blocks down, he coughed up some blood. And that's what made him go to the hospital.
Okay.
And
He still didn't feel. Oh, wow.
yeah, and if they hadn't done that, he would have died for sure. The bullet had gone here. It was just the smallest, tiniest little hole, but it had stopped like a 1/4 inch from his heart.
Jesus.
And,
yeah.
It's like Trump with the
Well,
That's like
Trump with the ear.
both.
I also thought when they took him away, he doesn't know there could be one in his back. If you're in shock and your adrenaline, I wasn't sure everything was okay. You know,
Yeah.
Same reason.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you never know. And, you know, I think those guys on the ground, I mean, they took 4 minutes, but they did the right thing, you know, thinking about other shooters. It seemed to me, too, that when they got him on the ground, what they did, because he said, I want my shoes.
Yeah.
I think they basically ripped open his shirt.
Yeah.
You know, and checked him
checked him.
everywhere
I didn't know
for
that. Okay.
any kind of wounds that he might have, you know, before they got him up, knew they could transport him. Because you don't, if
And
somebody's shot,
his shoes were what? He
supposedly
just
don't
fell?
move. What?
What was the shoes?
Well, they must have taken off the shoes. I don't know. Maybe they took his
when
pants
they
off.
tackled
Or
him, maybe they were
I don't know
loafers
what.
when they
Right.
when they grabbed
So they're
him.
giving him a
somehow
quick
his
check.
shoes got off.
His shoes got off because I think they took them off.
Yeah. Oh, they just took them off, took the tie off. They're just looking for...
They were just looking for any kind of...
Yeah. And then they're like on top of him going, okay, we got to make a move now.
Yeah.
And then they got a plan. Obviously,
Then they heard what shooter, they said the shooter's down.
Right.
That was about 45 seconds.
Did it surprise you that the guy got close and wasn't seen?
Incredible.
It's incredible. When you were seeing this video of, I don't know if it's a policeman or the Secret Service, the sniper looking at the bad guy, let's say, and he sees him, aren't you allowed to just shoot if the guy's got a gun? You see a guy laying there with a gun. Do you have to wait to get orders? Or, because remember, he looked up, then there's a shot, then he goes down and hits him. But if you've got him in the sights, he's wearing camo and he's got the gun. So is it just a rule you can just take a shot?
Well, who knows?
There's
Ask
a
questions
person
later.
here between the three of us that
I
is
would-
qualified
Yeah.
to play the head of the security team in a biopic.
Or we're going to write a report. This is a
Yeah.
commission. With
No,
three, you
this
have
is-
a commission,
Yeah,
right?
you'll be the hard-boiled guy coming and go,
This
what the
is-
fuck went on here?
This is called
I want this perimeter locked down.
We can take all the lines from every movie we've done.
three
Yeah.
dipshits.
This
trying to
is-
figure
I'm
this out.
getting too old for this shit.
Who's your agency? CAA, UTA. Just put it in their ear.
Yeah.
This has got motion picture written all over it. But yeah, we'll find out.
We cracked the code right here, and everyone's like, wow, no one thought of
Going
this.
to come out August 14th.
Yeah, so everything we say now will be
There'll be
completely
people falling
useless.
asleep on the
No
freeway.
Yeah,
sense.
it was like,
Yeah.
what were they thinking? So I
Yeah.
think we better shut up right
Yeah.
now.
It's impossible. No, it'll still be going on, knowing the way it works in America.
All I
Yeah.
can say is thank God we can laugh about it
True.
as far as
Oh,
Trump goes. I mean,
absolutely.
but the firefighter who lost his life. That's
We
Was
talked
it the
about
same
him
bullet?
yesterday, trying to
no,
protect his
it,
wife and daughter.
I'm trying to figure out where he was. Was
he directly
a
behind him?
grandstand over between him and the shooter? I don't get it, but
It would have been.
I mean, the guy
behind.
dove on his family
I know.
when things
Yeah.
came up, and it's
Because of all the, oh, he's okay. No one knew right then. No, someone was not okay.
yeah.
You know, when they get Trump out, you think he's okay, but no one knew if someone got hit.
The randomness of human existence, it's just so tragic.
Yeah,
you know?
it really is.
And heroic, of course. The instinct, you always think the impulse would be to dive on your loved ones, but
Yeah.
he actually did it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and
Easier said than
sacrificed
done.
himself. Yeah.
I think when I watched that, or when I was seeing replays, it was so weird to see if Biden or Trump, if something happened to them on live TV, it would be so disturbing it's so weird. Cause you know, it was not since Kennedy where it was like really, but no one really saw that. They saw a video later, but to see it happen in real time, it would
Yeah.
have shook the shit out of
Well,
anyone.
we all know it would have been the most gothic thing. I talked to a military guy, a friend of mine,
Especially
and
kids.
what would have happened would have been beyond what we can imagine.
Yeah.
And with bright color
Yeah.
8K television globally.
It
So
would have been.
Terrifying.
It's just
Yeah.
we're all a little still shook from it. I definitely was adrenalized after I saw that. For
It
a
would have been
couple
one of
hours.
those things you could never unsee.
What was your first bit? I'm going to get away from this because you guys
Yeah, thank
obviously
you.
don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
but
good.
it's the Ronald Reagan
do.
extravaganza picture, August
No.
24th.
Yeah,
But I'm very proud of the movie, to tell you the truth.
of course.
And,
That speaks volumes.
with
Yeah.
editing, and we try. It's I don't see it as political. The film, it's about a man's life.
Human. Yeah,
it's not a total love letter.
Mm-hmm.
Reagan missed, the way his response to AIDS at the time was
behind the 8 ball a little bit,
wanting.
Yeah.
I think.
Mm-hmm.
Later on, I think he came around about it, but the initial response was not there. Iran-Contra, I don't think he was involved in it, but it was on his watch.
Yeah.
He delegated a lot, and I think he would say things, and then those below would carry them out. And, so there's, some things which which were not the best, but overall, I myself, I think he was the greatest president of the 20th century. He and maybe Franklin Roosevelt.
Well, he was charming, and even going back to this, but after he got wounded, and just again, very Reagan. I'm sorry, Mommy, I forgot to duck.
I forgot. Yeah,
I mean, just all.
But he did bring unity to a nation, and he brought us back. We were a declining nation. Everything, it's so strange about how today is so similar. Carter was in there, who I voted for too, by the way. Because after Watergate, you wanted somebody out. We wanted somebody outside of Washington.
Nixon.
Yeah. And Carter, like, he gave away the B-1 bomber. The economy was really down the tubes, and
crazy.
It just 20% was the interest rates back then. And that may have been caused by the Vietnam War, not just Carter's administration.
The 70s was an odd decade.
It was,
economically.
But we felt like we were a nation in decline, and Reagan came along and really made us feel proud to be Americans again.
Well, and also there's this great picture. Tip O'Neill was the leader of the Democrats, and then Ronald Reagan, and they would go in and have a drink and tell dirty jokes. Yeah. And then Reagan would say, "What do you need?" They'd negotiate, and there's a picture of them coming out just laughing their asses off. And that's like as if that would be, the Speaker of the House, I don't know, Schumer and whatever, Trump, or being friends. So he did rotate that a little bit, and he negotiated with the Democrats.
Yeah, it'd be like Nancy Pelosi and Trump.
Yeah, laughing
and getting together for a beer on a Friday afternoon. And that's basically the way it was. They even said at the beginning that, we're going to be bitter enemies until 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
And then we're just a couple of Irishmen having a beer.
Yeah.
And they were.
I did like that Biden called Trump. I do like when there's some normal things happen in the world. Yeah. And
I did too.
It just drops it for a second, and it's not going to go away, but you just go, okay, so we have real people trying to be real people for a second.
Yeah, that was a time back then, which I think Tip O'Neill and Ronald Reagan kind of exemplified that.
Yeah.
I think that's what we need to get back to, at least, to be able to talk back and forth.
That would be great. I don't know.
Sounds so simple.
Yeah, it does. I mean, we pass each other in the street every day. Yeah. We go into each other's businesses, no matter what side, and we're polite to each other, treat each other like human beings, until you find out they're a label, and then all of a sudden they're demonized.
Well, whoever made social media, I guess, programmed the robots to get more views, and the robots figured out the way to get more views is to get people angry.
Yeah.
And so, so anyone who doesn't know they're being hypnotized into darkness on the World Wide Web, at least be aware that it's trying to feed you what gets you going. So I think I don't have any answers. But
you hit something right on the point there, and that starts, I think, with kind of self-examination.
I tell every human being I meet, whatever their opinion is, okay, now read the opposite.
Yeah,
read the opposite.
Yeah,
I juxtapose the Wall Street Journal and New York Times.
Yeah,
they're just in the morning. It's $100 a year each. I just go, oh, what does the New York Times take? What's the Wall Street Journal's take? I find myself watching stuff I disagree with more because I know my opinions.
Yeah, exactly.
But if everyone would say, okay, I'm going to just read the opposite for a week.
I might learn something.
Yeah, that's all.
You know what I mean? Even if it's that, why are why is the other side not even covering this? You know, sometimes.
Well,
but
censorship by omission is the greatest use of censorship.
Yeah,
on
I
whatever
totally
side.
agree, and I'd like to see at least more of that.
Well, more awareness. I mean,
no, more in coverage.
Yeah,
more
yeah.
Reporters. I mean, people who call themselves journalists actually,
right.
Not giving you their judgment of something that's putting themselves in the story to actually tell the story.
To humanize it.
I think that is I agree 100%. That's called journalism, I think.
Yeah.
There's a quote by Thomas Sowell, who's an economist I always like in terms of the whole political theater and the intensity of it. There are no solutions, only trade-offs. We are always trying to make better, but there's not like one side has it all perfectly worked out. So there's no reason to demonize the other side.
Yeah, I mean, that's what our country's based on.
Yeah.
And they called it compromise.
Compromise.
Right from the very beginning.
You like equality, I like freedom. Let's work out a relationship, how they work together. I would run on a ticket with you. Just for, you would run for governor. I'd be lieutenant governor in California.
Oh, we could switch it up.
I'm just throwing it out.
What do I do? Look after
I think
this
in
dog?
California, you have a better chance. In Texas, I would have the better
in
chance.
Texas.
In
Well,
Texas, yeah. But you do such a great George
I go
Bush
to Texas,
that you would be.
and I would just do George W.
Yeah, most of your
I think
impressions are
Lieutenant
Say hello to
Governor.
Governor Quaid. That sounds good, doesn't it? I like being W because he was our frat boy president, emotional, and just that kind of thing, you know? He's just a cheerful.
You get me every time with that. Then you also delineated between him and the father, George the One.
Well, education, doing well. Down here, Quaid, podcast, Fly, Wall, Spade, Greg, Heather, somebody in a room.
1,000 points of light.
1,000 points of light coming at you. No, but to the point, that was the most extreme. If you reverse extrapolate, whatever, interpolate. I made fun of him. He lose the election. And he calls me, and we become friends. People go, but I didn't know him while I was doing him. I didn't know.
Well, the impression is so silly and dumb. It's nothing. SNL was
It
like
was
that.
so perfect.
Yeah.
If he'd had Twitter back then, he might have been Dana Garney doing that impression of me right now on Saturday Night Live, right, waving his arms around like a spastic monkey. #dick. Could have been, but there was no Twitter.
Yeah.
So I was out there. But anyway, so we all hope for a better time. I'd like to talk about the right stuff.
Yeah, I was about to say, do any of these movies ring a bell?
Possessed by that movie.
Right Stuff.
I love it. I mean,
The Right Stuff is
that your
my favorite movie I've ever done.
Really?
Until Reagan, actually. It kind of, after 40 years, that spot's been taken over. I judge the movies I judge by the time I had on them. You know what I mean?
You mean the shooting?
Yeah, well, the time that I had experienced while making it.
From the beginning to the end, right?
Martin Sheen said that to Rob Lowe and all the Brat Pack guys, and he says, that was his advice. You just think about, do you like who you're working with? Do you like the job you're doing? Don't think about outcome and all that other stuff. So that's really interesting that you loved making the right stuff.
Well, I was from Houston, which was Space City, and I was right there first grade when they rolled in the TV so we could watch Alan Shepard go up. Capsule. Gordo Cooper was my favorite astronaut. He was the youngest. He was the rock and roll astronaut. And I love that name, Gordo. And then, the book comes out and I read it like in 2 days. And if they ever make a movie of this, I would, I want to play Gordo. And I was not Dennis Quaid back then.
Sure.
You've done some work.
I was just trying to get a job, you know.
That's a while back. Yeah.
Basically.
So you had done a few things and you were lucky to get in, just even an audition, right?
I got in for the audition because somebody dropped out of the role. And then I got in there and I got the part. And then it turned out that Gordo Cooper lived 3 miles from me in LA, over in the valley.
Oh.
So I called him up.
Oh, you got to see him?
And met him. And then he turned me on to a flight school in Van Nuys, and I got my pilot's license while we were making the movie in secret. And
did that come naturally to you? I mean,
no, I was afraid to fly. actually before that, I felt like, you're going to fall out of the sky.
I still I don't really like it.
Yeah. But I had this teacher, my instructor was Bud Wallen. And he was
Bud,
3
fly by the
years.
seat of your pants.
He
Wallen.
was 3 years younger than aviation itself. And
Really?
you could solo if you want to, but you don't have to. That was his thing. And it was, he had me through it. He was,
had that on the side of the plane. You can solo if you want to,
but you don't have to.
That must be scary as shit.
Bud,
The solo.
seat of my pants falling.
Oh, it was after I got my license. Really,
Is it really
it's just a
scary to go
license to
solo?
really scare yourself.
I mean, the first time, even if you're good, is it just terrifying?
It's a license to kill yourself.
Yeah.
Until you get like an instrument rating on top of that, because
It's too scary because anything can happen. You're by yourself. What if you didn't feel
I was
good?
lucky. But John Kennedy was kind of, God love him. I don't think he really had any business flying that night.
Yeah,
It's
it was a night
common thing of the disorientation.
That was during
you
SNL.
can't tell up from down.
No,
Right?
yeah.
You're just completely
Like when you do your instrument training, they put a hood on you. You take off and they put a hood on you that's like this. Just, covering. The only thing you can see is the dashboard with the instruments.
Mhm.
You can't see outside. And you have to fly for maybe 2 hours like that. And then they you get 50 feet above the runway and they take it off and you see if you're there.
Did John F. Kennedy Jr. get that?
But you
training?
have your inner ear is telling you that you're in a turn, that you're at an angle. And so you're constantly trying to level what you think is the wing, but your instruments are saying you're straight and level.
Wow.
But you're going to trust your inner ear.
Damn.
So you're trusting
That's the thing you have to get
Note
over.
to self, don't take pilot lessons.
Don't leave the house.
But that was something else. And then Chuck Yeager was on the set every day.
So he's arguably like the coolest, badass test pilot, or is the test pilot of
all time. Nobody will ever touch him. He was
Fearless.
checked out in 192 separate aircraft. It was, and he locked us in a room and told us his whole story, going back from when he was a lawnmower repairman in West Virginia. Farm kid to like World War II, and 5 shoot downs in World War II, and the whole test pilot stuff.
The
And
X-15, I think, the first speed of sound.
yeah, he never. That was the X-1.
That was the
X-15,
X-1.
he never flew.
Oh, okay.
But he was out of it by that time. But he was an incredible human being. It was like hanging out with John Wayne for
The thing about
4 months
that
or
book
something.
and that movie, it's just so interesting when you don't know anything and really get just the idea of these young men or whatever age they were, and how you kept going back and forth with the German scientists. We want a window, all that stuff.
right.
And what a tin can it was. And what the technology was so lo-fi. The bravery or the craziness, I don't know how did you... I mean,
Well, the only thing, like I said, is my favorite movie. I loved making it. It was 9 months. I was, I wished it never ended when I was doing it. But the one thing that I think was kind of the Achilles heel about the film is the way they treated Gus Grissom. The second one into space, lost his capsule, went to the bottom of the ocean.
right. He blew the chute, or what was the phrase?
Screwed the pooch.
Screwed the
Where
pooch.
they say, they were always trying to get to the top of the pyramid.
Right.
And then if you screwed up, that was, it was your fault. It wasn't the machine, even if it broke.
That's kind of like you panicked. If you pull that
Yes.
thing before you're supposed to.
You lost your cool.
Lost your cool, you panicked. Worst thing that could happen.
Yeah.
Now, do you think that was fair or unfair? Not fair.
Unfair, completely unfair. It was used as a device, a literary device by Tom Wolfe. And Phil carried it over in directing it. But it wasn't true. I mean, his family is still alive. And this is, more people saw the movie than remember all those things. And that's his legacy. But what happened was that it was the first time they were trying out that the escape hatch that they put needed an escape hatch,
Right.
and they didn't take into account that when you go into space and you come back down to Earth, the pressure building up and stuff like that, inside the capsule and the air outside. So when he hit the water, the escape hatch actually blew itself. And then the spacecraft went 16,000 feet down, and he was filled up with water in his spacesuit. He barely made it outside. It was heroic how he actually got out of that spacecraft. And so that's what he gets. And if he had screwed the pooch, then why did they give him the first Gemini mission?
Right.
And why did they give him the first Apollo mission where he wound up getting fried on the launch pad?
Right.
Burned alive.
Yeah.
He was actually the one that, because the astronauts were also kind of in charge of quality control, and he was constantly complaining about how shoddy these things were put together in the electrical system. And that's what happened in the pure oxygen.
I know. I remember that day too.
But to his legacy, Ed, what happened, that's my one regret of that film.
Well, we have 1,300 peaches.
Is the dog okay?
She's just agreeing.
She's just agreeing.
That's her talking.
It's snoring and there's a fart once in a while.
It's not actually snoring. It's kind of like her talking, right, Peachy?
Peachy. Yeah. Peachy's like, jeez.
Super happy on this carpet.
Riveting convo, Peachy.
Yeah.
Incredibly comfortable.
She goes everywhere with me.
Dude,
She's a service.
cozy.
Sandler too always has dogs like that, right? Bulldogs.
Does he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got Bagel right now.
So then you go into what's the movie that turned you into a
what was
80s sex symbol? Was it was sort of easy, was the one in New Orleans?
Yeah, I guess so.
Big Easy?
Big Easy.
The Big Easy, yeah.
Who's in that?
Ella Barkin.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And that was a cool movie.
That was a cool movie.
Yeah. Atmospherically.
Jim McBride directed that. And he was kind of, he had just done Breathless with Richard Gere. And he was kind of he was actually over there, during all that French New Wave stuff in France. And he kind of brought that sensibility to the film. And it was so much fun, so they tell me, to do that movie.
Okay, we can read through the lines a little bit. They can't all be, but
in New Orleans. We were in New Orleans for like 6 months.
You mean Nolans?
Nolans, yeah.
Yeah, Nolans.
That's right.
Now that we're
that
into
accent, all that stuff.
That world, you were literally riding a rocket once Dennis Quaid came into being.
It was
the
funny.
movie star Kevin.
That movie came out,
and
it was. I remember it was like it didn't really do well.
Really, it kind of resonated.
It was kind of down the line, And then it's the only time this ever happened in my whole career is like the second weekend. They said it went up.
It went up.
Yeah,
that's almost
and then
impossible.
it kept going up, and then it turned into this kind of like, girl get together.
Pure word of mouth.
Right? Did they have a name? They were called Quadies, or did they have a name? The fan group of
Big Easiers. I don't know.
Big Easiers.
Yeah. Big and easier.
The Dennis Dolls.
Bigger and easier, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Quaaludes.
So that's Quaaludes.
There you have
That's
it.
what I was remembering. That it got into
for
the
a movie to
zeitgeist
go
as a
up.
sex symbol.
There's I think Titanic might. There's very few movies that go up this first week, the second weekend, and the third.
Almost never.
It's impossible.
Almost never. Bonnie and Clyde was the only other one I could.
Really?
Oh, really?
Yeah, they brought that out. They brought that out at the beginning of the summer. I remember when I was like 12, and it didn't do well. It just fell on its face, and then they brought it out again in the fall, and it was all about Faye Dunaway's wardrobe. It was a huge hit.
Oh, she was.
I saw it in the theaters. I was a little disturbed by it. I didn't quite know what was going on at certain
That
times.
was a
They were
brutal
rolling around in the
shooting,
bed,
too.
and he had a gun. I didn't know quite what it meant.
What's happening?
Yeah, no lover boy.
Dana was scared.
I did see Enemy Mine. Was that a fun one to
Enemy
make?
Mine.
Yes.
You were on a planet with Lou Gossett Jr.
Yes.
That was affecting. I thought that was really landed, emotional.
Yeah, I do too. I
A stranded astronaut meets an alien.
fondness of that,
I remember
that movie.
Just a
And Lou
cool-
was like, he was so incredible.
He committed
I was talking
the whole time.
Really?
Yeah.
I did see it.
And then Inner Space.
Inner Space. which is probably the most seen movie worldwide. That I've been in the back of India, and I've
really
Inner Space.
Inner Space.
Tuck Pendleton.
Yeah.
Is that your character's name?
You go, guy.
You go, guy.
Hey,
Inner
guy.
Space. You're very tiny in the movie. But
You're not so tiny now.
No, you're bigger than the movie time. Okay. So I have a Hindu cardiologist, so I get a free
Dana
pass
always
for
says that
Indian
he's a free
Dr.
pass.
P.K.
Yes.
Shaw,
Yeah.
who won't let me not.
There
do.
was nothing not racist, or there was nothing racist about that.
Not at all.
Yes.
Politically correct. Great Balls of Fire, another one. I
Yeah,
saw these
Jerry
in the
Lee Lewis.
theater. Another,
Of course.
incredible, high energy, memorable movie.
The Great Balls of Fire.
Playing
Yeah.
Jerry Lee Lewis, who
Yeah.
was like 18 when he made it,
Uh,
or 16. I mean,
he was 21.
and a
when he
crazy
made it.
man on the piano. For people who
Yeah.
don't remember him,
It's-
showman.
Yeah, that he was on the set every day.
Oh,
I
the
didn't
real
play
guy?
piano when I got that role, but I had a year to prepare for it. And luckily, I was on cocaine at the time
Good
because
job.
that will make you obsessed about anything.
Mhm.
And so I was 12 hours
Okay,
a day on
Smart.
the piano.
All right.
Yeah, not
for our listeners.
Yeah,
That
when
was-
the movie
that's-
ended,
for
6
those
months after
listeners,
the
that's
movie
Adderall,
came
basically.
out, I was in rehab for that, by the way.
But for that part,
it's
you
been
had
over
to be
30
like,
years
so,
for
whoa.
that. But
But you were playing the piano really pretty skilled. I mean, very.
and I stuck with it. Jerry was one of my
He was
teachers.
he was teaching the piano.
yeah, Jerry Lee, probably his
Pretty cool.
only student he ever had.
How do they
Right.
do? He had a young bride, right? How do they do that on a movie where they have to hire someone 18 to play? How old was she?
Winona
13.
was.
Oh,
I
was
think
Winona?
She turns. Yeah, Winona Ryder. She
Oh, I
turned.
love
I think
it.
she turned 17.
Oh, and she had
In
to
the
play
film.
13,
Yeah.
maybe 14, whatever.
Hmm.
What's that?
How old was she in the movie?
In real life, she was on the cusp of 12, 13.
Oh,
And he
is
was
that weird?
21. And they were cousins. And,
Yeah.
Kissing
it's
cousins.
like, it really seems outrageous. And this is in no way in defense
yeah.
of anything. All I could say is about culturally
Mhm.
that, back in the day of farm families, there's a reason that you have bar mitzvahs and bat mitzvahs. It means that you are grown up. And that's when, people
yeah.
got married back then at that age.
Mhm. Yeah.
Henry VIII was 14 when he got married to. And
Oh, yeah.
it's, historically, that's otherwise we wouldn't be here. People were having
Right,
kids
well-
early, but, it's still.
Did people flip out back in the day when he actually did it?
Yes,
Or no-
they did.
Oh, they
Once
did.
they got it, no one here knew about it in
Okay.
the States. And it's when they went to England and she was tagging along, and some reporter in the welcoming airport press conference
Mm.
asked her, "Who are you, little girl?" And she says, "Well, I'm Mrs. Jerry Lee Lewis.
the wife.
And
Whoa.
that was
Good
the
boy.
end of his career, just like that.
Oh, really? I
It
didn't
turned
know
off
that.
just like that. And it was done. It was like he was
Huh.
as
He got
big
canceled?
as Elvis at
He
that
was.
point.
I was wonder
Elvis,
why.
in fact, was had just gone into the military, and he was
So
king of
he-
rock and roll. And that was the end of that.
58.
Shit.
And then he just trundled around, but he never really got headlining gigs or record deals or a
Well,
lot less. Or,
It it was about 8 years went by,
Mhm.
and he got into country music,
Okay.
which was his roots.
Yeah.
And he was huge in country music. Really
A
big.
real-
He did come back.
So he slowed down the music then. Because in the 50s, it was really bebop.
Oh, he'd still do that.
Oh, yeah.
I went on tour with him a couple of gigs when
With the Sharks?
with his band and
Mhm.
his like Learjet, 6 guys jammed
Lear
jammed into
25 with the
Yeah.
ceilings
Learjet
here.
sounds
All right.
big. It's
Yeah.
not big. You
Oh,
can't
man.
stand up.
I had a guy with
What a
cowboy
ride,
boots.
but
They pulled G's on
I
that
saw
thing.
he would just go all night. I saw him when we were recording the music, sit at the piano for 10 hours without even getting up to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
10 hours.
Adderall.
Yeah.
With,
Well,
unmedicated?
Jerry,
Oh, okay.
in this back pocket, he had a 38.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
And in this other pocket, he had a bottle of Seagram 7. And that he had soaked his pills in, most probably.
Oh, that old
I know
chestnut.
people who took one sip of that stuff and went went down.
Show business is
floor.
fascinating. The
Show
amount of
biz.
self-destruction in artistic people.
And he was, but he was like, he was a really sweet, genuine person. And then he could be like a 14-year-old schoolyard bully at the same time. And, but he was genuine, and he was like, there'll never be another like him. He was a genius at the piano.
Yeah.
When you go super famous to that happens to it goes away, it must screw with your head so much.
Yeah.
It's
I mean,
too weird. And plus, he probably wasn't ready for fame anyway. No one really is.
I think we've all had like mini versions of that, haven't we?
Yeah.
I mean, not scandal, if you don't want to say scandal, but there ebbs and flows.
Sure.
Or suddenly, the tap is turned off because of this or that.
Absolutely. Yeah. But I always go
Hollywood
back
jail.
to I do this,
Hollywood jail.
Hollywood jail.
One bad movie, Hollywood jail.
Yeah.
But to be able to make a living was always the goal. Like
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
working right now.
Exactly.
And it's extraordinary to lose that humility about it, because there by the grace of who? God. There still is some whimsy to this whole chapter, and brilliant people might have just missed. I knew comedians that were brilliant and just missed the timing of getting on SNL and have a fine. They do stand up and they're fine, but there's a lot of whimsy to it.
It's hard to get cocky when you see people better than you all the time, and you go, it didn't happen.
Yeah, we all grew up with people like that in our classes. Stuff that we're so lucky to be here, and you're exactly right about that. The humility, wanting to get a job.
Yeah,
I mean, I still carry that around because it's like
still a miracle.
It makes it real, and it makes it enjoyable. Actually,
oh, absolutely,
doesn't it?
Yeah, because then it's just fun. I'm still in the game here.
Yeah.
By the way, something you did recently, I just love. I just want to insert this because I loved Billy Bob Thornton. Everything he does, and I love Goliath, and I love the season where you were the bad guy.
Yeah,
it with Billy Bob Thornton. Did you love that? Because it seemed like you were having a blast.
I had so much.
It's
fun.
almost like a Columbo thing in a way. That you're the bad
Billy
guy.
Bob and I have been friends for 25, 30 years.
Yeah,
he's
in his own frequency, and it's so fun to be around.
We're both very much alike because we're both down at the bottom. We're rednecks. That just happened to break out over here.
And all the dust settles.
He's the ultimate one. He's so smart, and he's so great to work with, and so much fun. It's another way. It's like we were talking about before. It's about the experience you have while you're making it.
Yeah,
and it affects.
So you get to hang out.
It affects your work.
Yeah,
Yeah, when you look back on movies, you go, "Oh, that one was fun," and then you start to appreciate that part because you're usually so looking ahead and just getting through the day and memorizing your lines. You got to stop and say, "This is actually fun being here."
He's like a nonstop poet, basically. Or I ran into him at this photo shoot, and it was for Paramount 100-year anniversary.
Oh, yeah.
And I'd never met him. And everyone's there. Streep, just every actor, giant thing. They're taking pictures.
Yeah.
And I get over in the stands. I'm away from everybody. And then he happens to be next to me and he says, "You're the one I wanted to meet." I go, "What the fuck?" And Jerry Lewis is there and Tom Hanks and, it's just weird. And Trump was just starting to run for president, and he goes, "We got some John Wayne shit going on." Just says all stuff about furniture, and
he gets right to the point.
Quirky.
It did sound like him. That did sound like him.
He is a poet.
It sounds like him.
When I was hanging out with him, I used to really be able to do him. I need to get a tape and learn how to do them again. Billy Bob, if you're listening, if you want to come on, you can come back on with Dennis.
Dana will work on his
We will cater.
Yes. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it, bud.
Dennis, thank you for coming in with your still looking good, still looking ripped.
So are you, man.
All of us, yeah.
We're still here.
Still here.
It's
very nice.
Let's wax poetic a little bit and be philosophical.
Okay.
Very lucky.
Yeah,
To
we're lucky.
sum up,
Yes.
good fortune,
Lucky.
still employed,
1,000 points of light.
moving, shaking,
Yeah.
acting, talking, singing, dancing.
Be grateful.
Be grateful. Never get cocky. Don't think you're special. Treat the catering man the same as you would as the lead. I'm just on a roll here. Hold on.
You are.
Keep going. Peaches is there with you too. Right,
I
Peach?
use him to, if I'm feeling anxious, I do him in my head, summing up, making a list of where I am. Here, Spade's mansion, large, not too big, but special, extra bedrooms, empty. Dennis Quaid, Played Doc Holliday. Parent Trap, didn't get to it. Another classic. Keeps going round and round.
So you're saying that Bush actually keeps you in the now. He's
calming.
He's your
guru, just make a list of what you're doing. Like, are you going to go fly a plane today, or what are you doing after the podcast? Are you going to wrestle a cow? You're like a cowboy. I always say, when you get past 60 or something, you can be a pirate or a cowboy. A pirate would be
a weekend boater.
No, a pirate would be from the band. Steve. You're gonna get this.
No, we're gonna let you die on the vine.
Oh,
by the way,
from the band. The band.
Steven Tyler is a pirate.
Oh, yes. He's a pirate.
Got scars.
Yes, you are.
He's a pirate.
He's a pirate.
He's a pirate. You're a cowboy.
Yeah. I'm a cowboy.
So is Billy Bob.
Billy Bob's
or a redneck.
He's an honorary cowboy.
Well, of all the badasses in Hollywood, who do you look to? Like, if you're like, would you like to work with Russell Crowe? Like, you guys would be good to pair up, probably.
I'd like to work with you, Dane.
Yeah.
That's what I'd like to do.
Note to self.
Yeah. And Reagan too.
Reagan,
you can play Bush.
Can I do a cameo as Ross Perot?
You actually should have come. Yes, you could.
Can I come in on the one?
Fucking peaches.
Can I? Come on. You're not listening. Let me put it this way, Dennis. You can't put a porcupine in the barn, light it on fire, and expect to make licorice. Boom. God love them all.
Love you guys.
Well,
man.
Peaches.
Really.
Dennis, really, thanks for coming.
I thank you.
It was very
Thanks for coming to the house,
interesting.
and it's great seeing you again, bud.
You too, man.
All right, here we go. Peaches. That's it. That's your cue.